Hey everyone, you're listening to the official podcast of 4PlayerNetwork.com. Check us out at that address for everything you need to know about our community, monthly giveaways, and nightly live streams. You can even support us on Patreon at patreon.com/4Player. And last but not least, you can catch the live recordings of these podcasts every single Thursday night on our Twitch channel. We hope to see you there. Enjoy. How many James you playing?
I'm playing 2 James exclusively on the feed.
Shut up. Hey guys, welcome to the podcast, episode 528 of 4Player Podcast. My name is Nick Henderson. I am joined this evening by Carlos.
Hello.
Sitting directly to my right. Nolan Hedstrom.
How's it going, everybody?
And Christopher Davis.
I am alive.
Crispy is also in the room, but apparently he's going to be sitting on the sidelines for at least part of this podcast. He'll probably be joining us here shortly. Before we get started, we did miss a podcast last week due to unforeseen circumstances, so we kind of rescheduled. So happy early Thanksgiving to everybody. In fact, if you're listening to this at home, it is Thanksgiving, probably right now, so happy Thanksgiving. But also, before we get into too much of the actual discussion, I want to quickly, just out of obligation, I think it's probably prudent that I bring up the net neutrality thing, right? This is a very... If you enjoy partaking in the internet, if you enjoy navigating the internet and communicating with people freely, using services such as Netflix and YouTube and Twitch...
If you don't like your internet service providers telling you exactly what kind of porn you want to see...
That's true. Net neutrality is a very important issue. I don't want to... Obviously, this is not a political podcast. I don't want to spend too much time getting political.
I don't think net neutrality is political. I think that's
basic human
it's not
right. A partisan issue or anything like that. I'm just saying, that's not necessarily the topic of our podcast, but it is important, especially to people who enjoy things like our podcast, our Twitch channel, anybody's Twitch channel. I think this is an important thing to get involved in. There are multiple ways to kind of get involved. The one that kind of I've been seeing floating around, I think it's savetheinternet.org is one of the options. You can go there and sign a petition and call your congressman, all that good stuff. Just want to put that out there. It's probably a good thing to be paying attention to if you enjoy all the freedoms you have using the internet right now. But enough of that. That may come up again during our 4-player minute, I'm sure. We have a lot of video games to talk about tonight, and we're going to get to those. We also have a lot of news to talk about. A lot has transpired since our last podcast in the past 10 days, which we will eventually get to. Hey, Crispy.
Yeah.
Can you type quiet? I'm not sure if that's even possible.
Thank God I don't have a mechanical keyboard.
He's just going to type like really slow.
No, you just type the words "type quieter" in the chat.
Technically, it would have been funny if he just typed the word quiet.
Yeah.
You fucked it up.
Nick didn't say type quiet.
You fucked it up.
Oh man, that was pretty good. That was pretty close. Of course, before we get to all the video games, video James, as Carlos likes to put it, I want to, of course, read some feedback from our last episode. I don't have a whole lot of it this week.
It's gonna be great.
But of course, we give away games every month. If you want to get involved, enter your name in the drawing. All you got to do is leave us a comment, leave us some feedback on anything we talk about during our episodes, and we'll read that feedback at the beginning of the next episode. Tonight, we're going to hear from Mr. Green Toast. He says, to clarify on the David Cage dance in Indigo Prophecy, we did briefly mention that.
Yep.
After you beat the main game, you unlock several bonus cutscenes that are more goofy in tone than the rest of the game. One of which is called, quote-unquote, The Hidden Dance Floor, in which 2 random NPCs from the game do a synchronized dance, and every 10 seconds they're swapped out with 2 different NPCs. One of the swaps is of David Cage dancing with the lead female in her underwear.
Nice.
I think
Still doesn't make it less creepy, but I wanted to make it clear this isn't a hidden file. When I talked about it, I wasn't really sure what it was. It was just something that I remember seeing somewhere. So yeah, not a hidden file, just something you kind of unlock when you beat the game. Pretty weird, though. But thank you, Mr. Green Toast, for the clarification. And also, Mocking27 says, I'm going back a podcast or two, but I think companies don't trust gamers and their purchase decision for a somewhat legitimate reason. More often than not, we find people talking about, oh, just give me more of this and I will throw you my money just like that. and we have so many examples of that not coming true because the said game was something the gamers and not focus groups suggested is desirable. I think he's kind of commenting on we were talking about.
Yeah, we were talking about how they do focus groups and stuff for games and whatever.
What game was that in reference to, though? We were talking about Visceral. Visceral's closure, yeah. We don't always put our money where our mouth is. Classic examples include Mirror's Edge Catalyst. That is so fucking true. Everybody wanted Mirror's Edge 2. Everybody wanted it, and then we get it, and nobody bought it.
I think a very vocal minority.
I think a problem with a situation like that was I would have loved to have Mirror's Edge 2 if there wasn't 14 other games I was playing at the time.
True.
I think that could be a big problem. Is if a game releases in the middle of a bunch of other games, it is less likely.
The unfortunate thing is we can't realistically expect them to slow down their production schedules to accommodate people's schedules. That's just a problem we're always going to have, which sucks. But you're right. Anyways, he says classic examples include Mirror's Edge Catalyst, Prey. I'm thinking he means Prey 2. I don't know. Prey. This year's Prey. That didn't sell very well either.
Nope.
Maybe the recent exercise in Yakuza re-releases too, and I have a feeling that the Ubisoft pirate game Skull and Bones is going to end up in the same boat. Boat. Oh, good. Yeah, on the same boat. That was a good one. He slipped that one in there. Very nice.
Did he mean to?
I don't know.
I'd like to think he's smart enough.
Wherein it felt desirable before release, but not so much at $60 come launch day. I think he's probably right about that. And also, to be honest, I mean, everyone wanted more of the ship combat in Assassin's Creed, and everyone praised that game for that. But I'll be honest, I think the name Assassin's Creed had a lot to do with how well that game did.
Yeah.
Even if people were talking so enthusiastically about the combat, the ship combat, it had a lot to do with the name it was attached to. I for one have money to buy games, but not the mindset, as most AAA games don't feel worth the launch price. I'm not mad for most games at launch. More so with rentals as a good alternative option and post-launch sales. The last game I got at launch was Neo. Compare that. Sorry. Compare that with offers with the likes of. Sorry, this sentence is weird. With the likes of similarly priced games like Mirror's Edge Catalyst, Agents of Mayhem, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, The Surge, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and I think you might know what I mean. I think he's saying he doesn't think a lot of games fit the bill for the $60 launch price. But, yeah. I always think it's weird when people are like, the last game I bought at launch was for $60, and then they say some game that came out like 8 months ago, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But then again, that's obviously just because, we do this. I buy a lot of games. I play a lot of games.
Wolfenstein and Evil Within 2 are already half off.
Yeah,
do you think they're doing that to because of the poor sales? I mean, neither one of those performed.
Bethesda single player games always get really big discounts early on.
Quick, yeah.
They do.
But then again, look at Bethesda's track record as of late. Every game they've released has not performed well, quote unquote. Like hasn't reached their projections or whatever. Dishonored 2, Prey, Evil Within 2, Wolfenstein. None of those games.
Doom did. Yeah, but Doom dropped in price really quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's not, they can make bank on like Elder Scrolls or Fallout.
Those are the two games.
Those two games. It's like those two games are single-handedly funding every other.
They've been milking the fucking Skyrim teat for 6 years now,
and Fallout 4 too. There's a new version of Fallout 4 which I admittedly bought.
Well, Fallout 4 just came out last year.
Yeah, but they got it. There's already a game of the year, and obviously that's a fairly common occurrence.
It really did come out last year, didn't it?
Yeah.
And they managed to crank out 5 DLC packs for Fallout 4, and then release a Game of the Year edition.
Didn't play a single one of them though.
It's on my pile of shame because I do really, really, really want to sink like the proper amount of time into Fallout 4. I put that on my top 10.
It's a bad game, Nick.
Oh, fuck off, Carlos.
You should know this
right
now.
2015.
I played that game for 20 hours. I put it on my top 10, and I loved it. And I'm just sad that I didn't spend more time with it.
Yeah, Fallout 4 came out in 2015.
I'm glad I realized that game was bad an hour in and quit forever.
First of all, the thoughts and opinions of Carlos do not represent the thoughts and opinions necessarily of 4Player podcast.
I guess it was just because it was the end of 2015.
Yeah,
it does feel like it was a year ago.
It was 2 years ago.
That's crazy.
It was 2 years ago and 10 days.
But you know what? Time does fly when you're having fun, and there's been a lot of video games to keep us having fun. So, anyways, that's it for feedback this week. Thank you guys for writing in. Of course, anything we talk about tonight, if you'd like to chime in, leave us a comment at 4playernetwork.com, and we'll get to it at the start of next week's podcast. But now, I don't even know where to fucking start. When we came into this podcast, I didn't think we had much to talk about, but apparently I was wrong.
We need to start with Chris actually handling the entire broadcast. Actually,
What do you want?
Oh, okay. Let's talk. Let's do the. Chris Davis played and finished Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Chris,
Yes, I
no,
did.
before you click that, go.
No, go.
On the left,
Cam. There you go.
on the left, there's a Star Wars one. You got to click that one.
There we go. Sorry, this is
Nope. Chris Davis, I do have a mouse over here. If you
There
want
we
to.
go. We got it. There we go. In Russian, Star Wars
there
Battlefront
we
2.
go.
Go.
Oh man,
Go.
this is the. Thank you, Crispy. Star Wars Battlefront 2. Chris Davis loved it. I hear.
He loved it so much he couldn't put it down until he finished it.
Yeah.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
in one sitting on the feed.
Man, how
And
many,
why did you
The
choose
smile
to get the PC
that was on my
version?
face throughout the entire experience
so many depends did
was
you go
artificial.
Okay, so you playing on PC?
Yes,
You play.
it's a dice game. You play it on PC.
You
Which
play
means
it-
you have to buy it. You could have just Redboxed it like me. You're done. You're not giving him any money.
Oh my god, you bought.
But
that.
what if it was a
EA
good
So
game?
much money. We knew it wasn't a good game.
Okay, first of all, that's subjective. 2.
It's dice,
Dude, you
okay?
Redboxed it. You play it on PS4. If you like it, hey, cool. Wait for a sale and buy it. Or buy it right now. You're only out $3.
The game they came out with last year, Battlefield 1, is
Battlefront?
easily no Battlefield 1 last year
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, Battlefield.
was easily
That's
one
so
of my favorite
confusing.
games of that year.
That's so confusing.
How?
I am playing it a lot more lately than I'm anything else.
That's fair. Whatever. He likes dice shooters. That's fantastic.
Yeah, they're great.
Battlefield 1, I've heard good things.
Play Battlefield 1
But
instead.
we're not talking about
But picking up
Battlefield.
a game like this, day one for full price is pretty dicey.
Oh god. Oh Jesus Christ! You killed the audio,
You
Carlos.
just murdered it.
Murder the audio. All right. You know what? I'm tired of talking about multiplayer. I'm tired of hearing about multiplayer. I want to hear about this fucking single player game because apparently
Okay.
nobody wanted to talk about this prior to launch, and you.
They didn't want to market it. They didn't want to do anything with it.
I'm waiting for time to go.
To go. The time it's been like a
And
minute
go.
and a half.
No, but he hasn't actually talked about the game yet. I gotta wait for him to start talking
Star
about
Wars
it.
Battlefront 2 single player
There
experience.
we go.
Starts at 20.
This is the multiplayer.
Oh my goodness.
Go.
Crispy should be our new producer. No, don't do it.
No, we're doing
Okay,
fine. We're
sorry.
fine.
Go ahead. Go.
Star Wars Battlefront 2's single player experience is just over 4 hours long.
Okay, first of all,
It's
before you go any
contrived in its writing, and it just feels like a kind of a waste of time.
Okay. There is no part of that sentence that I wasn't kind of expecting. I hope you expected it as well.
They promised some things when they were marketing
Of
this
course,
single
they're
player.
fucking marketing. Of course, they're gonna tell you it's the biggest fucking game ever, and it's gonna be the best thing. And there's nothing.
No. I'm saying that the direction this story goes
It's
in this.
like the premise of the story seemed interesting, but
It-
I was
the
hesitant.
premise sounds.
Well, the premise
interesting.
you were promised was a lie.
It was kind of a fucking lie, actually.
All right, tell us what it was then. I'm curious. I have
This
no
is
idea.
the traditional bad guy starts out bad, turns good.
Within the first 15 minutes of the game.
Like it's already having like moral issues like in the first hour of the game. And then like only a third of the way through the game, she breaks
All
away
right,
from the
let's
Empire.
also be careful. I know this is going to be more of a
We're
maybe-
spoiling the whole thing tonight.
Might as well.
Carlos, you don't need to yell.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But
In fact, please don't.
I do. Let's be careful. But let's not spoil too much for those who want to play this game. But seriously,
The game this game is supposed to be sort of a bridge between
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens.
Is that supposed to be like? No, it can't be the Emperor then.
That
if
is
it's between
that
Return
is
of
the
Jedi.
Emperor's messenger. It's basically a robot that is conveying the final command of the Emperor to the remaining Empire.
That's dumb.
Oh, so it's like his last will and testament in like robot
Kinda,
form?
yeah. This is like
That's
the last
dumb.
order of the
Dude, if
Emperor.
I was that guy right there, I would just shoot that robot in the head and be like, "You're dumb."
I'm the new emperor now.
Exactly.
By the way, that's the father of Iden Verso.
Okay,
So
let's-
there's already daddy issues.
That means
there.
nothing to me.
Okay, first of all, like the one thing, like the one common complaint I hear keep coming about this game is like it seems like they crammed so much fan service into this game that it just feels super like fan fictiony. Do you feel like that? Like there's like there's recognizable characters in like every 5 seconds of the story. Like they make
half the game you don't play as her.
What?
Yeah.
No, they make you play the hero characters, like Luke, like Han, like Leia.
I had no idea you played as anyone else but her. That caught me off guard. Pretty
That's-
good.
Yeah, you
Stupid.
absolutely do.
In a
You
good
have
way?
entire missions in this game that are dedicated to these characters going off and doing things, and more often than not, these levels that you're actually partaking in are mostly based around the multiplayer maps.
Oh,
That
But they're just made
Valkyria mission was
linear
pretty
as
good
fuck.
though.
That kind of surprises me, though. I feel like, I mean, to be honest, I haven't played a lot of single player or dice shooter single player campaigns. There's not a whole lot of them to go around, I guess. But
Yeah.
the ones that I have played at least seem to me like they weren't built around the multiplayer maps. Like, I think I played, was it Battlefield 4? Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4? Like, those didn't seem like they were built
No, they
around...
were much more linear and built
Yeah.
campaigns in 3 and 4.
So that's kind of...
But this is like it feels like they take literal maps. Like this level I'm about to play, it's basically ripped straight from the multiplayer. It's basically the same idea, but you're playing as the Empire.
that's
So you're instead of like you're playing as a rebel and you're fending off the raiding rebellion and they're trying to destroy the Star Destroyer you're on. No, you're going around and you're just shooting X-wings and Y-wings and occasionally a Corvette or something. And then you go on to the second part of the level, which is a shooter section,
Gotcha.
a very linear shooter section.
I will tell you this, like, just... Of course, I'm not hearing any sound or anything or watching this footage and okay, I don't need your sound effects, Nolan.
No, the one absolute great thing about dice games of the past 5 years is their visual and sound design.
Yeah,
Because they are beautiful and they sound amazing.
I mean, I'll tell you
And,
this, like,
and
just...
the audio
well, you know what, Chris
and
Davis?
presentation
Maybe
of
if
this
I was
game.
blind,
Dice-
I'd like this game.
Dice has always been about that. Like when you're playing as the ships, the sound changes if you're playing from first person view or third person view.
Yeah, it does
That
that.
was a pretty neat detail.
Oh, just the level of AV presentation here
I mean,
is fantastic.
just watching the opening, like where you climb into the TIE fighter and then you're in the cockpit and you
Well, that
see
was
like flipping
pre-rendered.
switches. I know it's
yeah.
pre-rendered, but like it's fucking gorgeous. And then like
yeah.
coming out of the underbelly of the Star Destroyer and then suddenly like you're in the dogfight, like that was really cool looking.
Yeah.
But
I just-
all of these spaceship missions. I don't know how you feel about them, Chris, but they all to me seemed too long, and they have pretty sketchy checkpointing. Like I remember dying in a couple of them, and
See,
I
I
had
never
to start
died,
from the
'cause I was
beginning.
playing
Well,
on the
'cause you were
main-
playing
Yeah,
on
get
a
good,
PC.
scrub.
I had to start from the beginning and get to watch the cutscene and everything again.
You couldn't skip the cutscene?
You can't skip the cutscene.
This game fucking sucks.
Yeah, you can't skip
It's-
it.
because it's not-
because
it's not
they
a
hide
cutscene,
they
it's
hide
like-
all the loading
It's like
loading
the
behind
initial
the cutscenes.
approach when you're like flying in slowly, listening to your radio. You can't skip that. And this game
Yeah.
also does something else that I really didn't like. Like you saw the pre-rendered cutscenes, how they look really good and stuff. Sometimes it'll cut away to like actual gameplay, but all the gameplay sequences, you walking your character slowly down a hallway, and then
Yeah.
and then when you get to the end, it starts another pre-rendered cutscene. And I'm like, why?
Yeah, these things happen. Yeah.
They don't know how to make like cinematic games like
y'all
that.
I mean,
remember-
Dice never really has. I mean, I seem to remember there being some pretty epic moments in like Battlefield 3 and 4.
Yeah.
But like their stories, like their narratives themselves, have always been fairly weak, especially when it comes to shooters. So I'm not totally surprised here. It seemed like they were going for something a little more ambitious, which I think was cool. But I can't honestly say that I ever had much hope that this would end up being a memorable campaign.
Yeah, especially since they weren't, doing a strong push for it. In the
Yeah, I
marketing.
mean that was kind of the most telling thing is like leading up to release. Like all I wanted to know about was tell me about this fucking campaign you're putting in this game, and they didn't mention it.
Of
Yeah.
course they
Right.
didn't.
No,
That's your first clue that it was going to suck.
Yeah.
No, the Starfighter sections of this game are probably the best part of the game. They control very well. For the first time, like any aerial vehicles in any dice game ever, it controls fairly well. The amount of particle effects and things you do is pretty good. Honestly, do y'all remember the Factor 5 Rogue Squadron series?
Yeah, I played. Wasn't there one on GameCube?
Yeah, there
I
was
played the one on GameCube.
Rogue Squadron, there was Rogue Leader, and then there was Rebel Strike.
Yeah.
This is basically kind of being Rebel Strike,
Okay.
done by DICE.
This just makes me want to play Free Space, watching these space sequences.
No, the space sequences are
I'd rather
the
play
best
free
part of it.
cell.
Any sequence in which you're on the ground and you're fighting rebels or as and then later in the game the Imperials. I mean it's okay shooting. You really don't want to play this game in first person, and that's why I mainly don't play in this footage in first person.
You don't want to play in first person?
No.
Explain this to me. This is the first I've heard of this.
It's part of like the Battlefront tradition. You want to play in third person because you've got that better camera angle and you can understand your environment
I've ever
better.
seen anybody. I mean, to be honest, I don't pay a whole lot of attention to Battlefront, but I don't think I didn't even know you could play in third person in this game. To be totally honest.
Oh yeah, no, that's what you've been able to do from the
Okay, weird.
like the old games. Yeah, the shooting's all right. When you're playing on a first person shooter, first person perspective from a dice game, it's okay, it's fine. But when you're playing this game in particular, in which you have to be so aware of what's going on in the environment and things like that, you kind of really have to play in third person.
Okay.
And the game has an FOV slider, at least on PC, that the game is base set on like 50 FOV.
What?
Which is like old like Call of Duty 2 style FOV. And it goes all the way it goes up to 110.
Isn't 70 like the average like base?
70 is more common, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Anywhere between 70 and 80, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I pushed this up to 85 for my broadcast. And it becomes a lot more fisheyed when you play in third person.
Yeah.
So I didn't push past that. And you don't really need it much past 85.
Gotcha.
The gameplay is fucking repetitive in the campaign. You're basically going to a spot, you're activating a thing, you're holding off rebels, you complete the objective,
Move on, rinse, repeat. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really it. There are entire levels in this game in which you're basically just forced to walk around. Not even run. You're just walking slowly through an environment for like 15, 20 minutes.
It's because maybe for... I feel like maybe a developer who's not as keen on building like really successful like cinematic games, like there's a precedent for like telling a good story somehow equates to like walking slowly down beautiful vistas and like dialogue. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about, but
like that. I mean, that obviously is not.
Yeah.
That just happens to be like. That, I feel like that just might have bled over into their design doc in this game for whatever reason, because they're not very good at making single player campaigns, at least in their shooters. So
Is there
any kind of satisfying resolution to the story at all?
No, the game doesn't even have an ending.
It turns out
It doesn't have an ending.
Darth Vader, not Luke's father.
You
See,
I believe you,
they
Nolan.
would do the Operation Raccoon City thing, where you like shoot Leon Kennedy and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
or you're like, yeah,
but they don't really
Yeah.
care about the canon. They just kind of do whatever they want with it.
no, they end the campaign by having you play another hero character, and then it leads off into like a
Jar Jar
this
Binks.
may be answered in DLC or somewhere else down the line.
Off.
That
No,
last
it's
mission
bullshit.
is so bad.
And the problem is with this game, there's almost no downtime really. Other than like a couple sequences where you're just walking along and there's slowly dialogue going on, there's like no downtime.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's
You're
their
constantly
idea.
going
That's
into
their
battle.
internal idea of pacing. It's like, let's give them a sequence where you walk down a hallway, it looks beautiful, and you talk for a minute, and then just throw them right back into the action. That seems kind of fucking lame.
But I mean, I'm not like what would you do?
I mean, I think a lot of that stems from the fact that they went into this like with. It sounds like they went into this with the intention of like building a campaign around the assets they already used to build the multiplayer.
That's
And
right.
I
I'm 100%
and I
sure
don't
that's what they
think
did.
that is like if
It's
that
not
is
doable.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really feasible to tell a like it's very transparent. It's very much like you totally see what they did there. It seems lazy, and there's really no way around that unless you're willing to build a completely separate, unique campaign using its own assets without worrying about without worrying about using assets you built for the multiplayer. Like, I don't think it's really feasible to avoid that.
They're doing it backwards. And I understand the first game, obviously all multiplayer. And so I'm sure they went in with that same logic when they started developing this one. But if you're trying to make a single-player campaign, you can't make a bunch of multiplayer maps and then throw story in it. You have to have a story-based fucking game, and then towards the end of that development, you go, hey, here's an open area, let's make this section a multiplayer
It is
map.
very strange that you mentioned that. Like, when you think about a lot of games that have really successful multiplayer components, a lot of it is like they tell a really cool story, a really solid, well-built campaign, and the multiplayer is the maps come from the single-player campaign.
Correct.
It almost never works going the other way around. So
It's the other direction.
it's very strange.
There's a mission that happens later on in the game.
Is this
you
a
play with a
spoiler?
hero character. Huh?
This is the very first mission.
No, this is like the third mission in the game.
Oh. God, it is fucking gorgeous.
Right.
No, this is a cinema.
I know. I'm
looks
just trying to give
good.
some credit where it's due. Like, goddamn,
It
it's
doesn't matter that
yeah.
it's pre-rendered.
It is
Carlos,
a-
It still looks good.
it is a sexy looking game.
No, it is. It's that's the best part of
So
Dice
what's the main character's name? What's her name?
Iden Verso.
Is
Versio.
it was? Did there seem like there was any maybe underlying potential for that character to be interesting?
Sure.
That's
I can
sexist.
go into a spoiler thing.
Okay, don't do that.
That pops up towards the end. Which if it's what I think they're trying to do, then it really would just it's ham-fisted and pisses me off.
I told Crispy what it was on the drive here. He was pretty excited.
I read a novel where she's the main character.
Okay,
She can't talk off the mic.
The pacing in this game. The pacing in this game, it's just kind of bad.
yeah.
All right,
Because
so we're,
it's all about taking you to these multiplayer maps, basically, in which you're doing these iconic battles or iconic areas, and there's so little like bridging between some of these. Like it'll say several months later, and then you go to
Oh,
this
that's-
map, or like
that's bullshit.
there's
Dude, Chris.
like when it goes to Jakku for one of the final levels, it's like years later, Jakku.
Chris, that was
The
my
final battle.
favorite. That was my favorite part of this game. I told Crispy this, but like the first mission of the game, you're basically Iden Versio lets herself get captured to like destroy some rebel information from the inside.
Yeah.
And then at the end of this mission, she's like, "Finally, we're gonna crush this rebel scum." And then there's a title card that says several months later, and it's her like watching the Death Star get blown up.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Come on.
It almost just needed the.
It's like they had a
Curb Your
meeting where they were like,
Enthusiasm music
"All right,
playing over
what's
it."
gonna happen next?" And they sit there and there's like crickets, and then it's like, "We'll just transition with a title card. It'll be great. They don't need to know."
It's,
All right, we get the idea.
Yeah.
This is a very disappointing campaign. We should move on.
I agree.
That's unfortunate. Although to be honest, it's one less game I have to play this year.
just
So
Redbox it.
it does
Or
not
don't
give me a lot of
bother.
hope for the future of Star Wars as a franchise in EA's hands. I'm gonna be totally honest.
Could you say that about anything
mean-
in EA's hands?
Well, right now, hey, Visceral is making a Star Wars game.
Okay,
I mean, not
okay.
Visceral. Sorry, I apologize.
Visceral.
Not Visceral.
Well,
Respawn. Respawn.
Here's my
I would
problem.
trust it in their hands.
Here's my problem with that, and not that they won't possibly make a great Star Wars game, but I can already tell you it's going to be predominantly a game that is. I think it will probably ultimately end up being a better game than Battlefront 2, but it'll be a game that I think is designed from the forefront as a multiplayer game again. And I don't know why it is so hard for us to get a Star Wars game from a studio that is devoted to telling a deep, like, single-player focused, story-driven Star Wars game. I don't like the days of KOTOR are gone. We got Mass Effect, which was kind of like, you know, a new IP in the same vein as Star Wars, and it was like, oh my god, imagine if they did a Star Wars game like this, it'd be amazing. And it seems like it was only a matter of time before something like that happened. And ever since KOTOR became an MMO, it just seems like that is getting that possibility is just farther and farther and farther away.
I would agree with you because there's the problem with the single player game is that you can't make more than $60 on it unless you offer proper.
That is not
DLC.
necessarily true. There are other ways of doing it, and not to mention, not every single game has to have the budget like of.
Let me tell you
Mass
something,
Effect
Nick.
or whatever.
The thing about Star Wars is that it's pretty much a coat of paint. So if you want to play like some space battle Star Wars, just get yourself a Star Wars mod for free space. You want to play some Star Wars shoot 'ems, get yourself some Star Wars Doom mods. You know,
Yeah.
Problem solved.
Dark Forces.
And the thing
Yeah.
is, there's been so many Star Wars games. You can find something for what you
I
want.
bet you never played Jedi Knight 2. Did you play Jedi Knight 2?
Actually, I did.
Go play Jedi Knight 2 again.
I played
You
that
ever-
on 96 month.
Yeah,
or-
you did.
Did you
Yeah.
ever hear of Star Wars Rebellion?
Yes.
That was a 4X Civilization style game.
See, the thing is, I'm just saying there was a time when there was diversity and quality in various Star Wars projects across the spectrum, right?
I mean,
That day is gone. It's like all they are interested in delivering to us is multiplayer competitive shooters is set in the Star Wars universe, and I'm not really like great. I hope Respawn does great, but man,
I
if there is not at least a Titanfall 2 quality single player campaign in that game, I'll be pissed.
I mean, that's what I was going to say, because Respawn came out with Titanfall 2, which had a great single-player campaign.
you're right. They did. They
that
did. They've done
augmented
it
an
once.
already really good multiplayer experience.
They've done it once. They have not.
That doesn't
done it.
mean they won't do it again.
But also, everybody wants.
And also, they made single-player experiences well before they were
Sure.
Respawn.
Sure. I'll give
So
you
the
that.
best-selling games in the industry, by
But-
the way.
I'm gonna say it. I want a fucking KOTOR, like a KOTOR style game. It doesn't have to be KOTOR. I want a fucking space opera RPG, a la Mass Effect or KOTOR in the Star Wars universe. That seems like that seems like that should be the first project they work on. Like, it seems like the most obvious logical choice for Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's ever going to happen at this point. Anyways, we need to move on from Star Wars. It's disappointing. We'll probably bring it up a little bit again when we talk in the news, because there's been some weird developments around Battlefront 2 we'll continue to talk about in the second
provide a little
segment.
insight.
But now, I want to switch gears over to Nolan for a second.
What up?
You played a game I don't know anything about, but I saw some of your
You
footage
don't know
for it.
Nier?
No, not that one. Not that one. We'll do that one
the
later.
Nier game.
We'll hit that one later. We'll talk about this other new game.
Okay.
It's called Moonlighter.
Oh. Yeah.
It looks cool.
Yeah, it does. Moonlighter's an indie game from Digital Sun Studios.
Uh-huh.
Digital Sun. Let me clarify that before I'm mistaken. But anyway, it's similar if you know of the game Reciteer.
Wait,
Digital Sun Games.
Wait, what was the game you just
Reciteer.
I do not know that
so
one.
It was an RPG in which you basically ran an item shop.
Oh.
So this is kind of similar to that, but the concept is you run a shop in a city. You sell items in the shop, but to get those items, you have to go into a dungeon and kill.
Oh, so you're
creatures.
basically gathering your own inventory.
Correct.
Okay.
So you kind of have to just choose how you want to spend your day. Do I want to spend my day in the shop trying to sell my wares,
Oh, day
or do I
management.
want to go into a dungeon and kill creatures to collect stuff? So not only do you have to collect those items, but it's also kind of like a game of do I sell this item in my shop for money, or do I use this item to craft a new item for a new sword or a new
Yeah.
shield or new armor
To help you in your
Exactly.
dungeon crawling. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, as you can see, the dungeons are very Zelda-esque.
Top down, isometric.
There's like 12 different indie games I can pick out of this. A little bit of Zelda. There's definitely some Rogue Legacy going on.
You know
And
what's kind of giving me, like, this is probably really far off as far as the gameplay goes, but for whatever reason, the
Titan
first time I
Souls?
saw it, it made me think of Titan Souls.
the art styles, Titan Soulsy.
A little bit of Hyper Light Drifter.
A little Hyper Light Drifter, yeah. I mean, that's kind of like the style of games lately. So a lot of indie games, but like when you clear it or when you exit a dungeon, it'll pop up with a list of every single enemy you defeated, like one at a time, like go through the entire list, like Rogue Legacy. The music's pretty good. I'm actually really fucking digging the music of this game.
The moment I saw this game, I was like, I don't know anything about this game, but I'm going to guess that it has awesome music.
It does. There's definitely some Enter the Gungeon going on with some of the movement around the world and dodging bullets and kind of stuff like that.
Are the dungeons, what's the word? Help me.
Procedurally generated.
Yes,
they are. So for those that don't know, this game's not out yet. I got an early code of it from the developer. It comes out next year. So I only had access to the first dungeon. I think there are 5. At least, just that's kind of going based on the overworld. You enter. There's like the layout. There's like 4 or 5 different like door looking things you can go into, and I was only one of them was available.
Yeah.
I only ever got to the second level of this. I think there's like 4 or 5 levels maybe something like that
Yeah.
in a dungeon, and I've only ever gotten down to the second one. It's tough.
Is this game? So this is an early copy, but is this game complete or is it still?
It's still in development.
Okay,
It comes out next year.
gotcha.
So there's still a few more months left in development. I'm sure they are probably, dungeons, 2, 3, 4 are probably already. They're probably already done. They're just polishing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the other thing is there's all different types of weapons. So and the weapons interact differently. So you have your pokey weapons, which is what I'm using there, a spear.
That's called spear.
Yeah, there are there's short sword and shield. So you can actually pull up a shield. Like
Yeah.
every weapon has two different style of attacks. You have a quick attack and like a heavy charge attack. Like the short sword doesn't have a charge attack. It just you can pull up your shield to block projectiles and things. There are larger swords that have a big sweeping motion that you can kind of do a link 360 spin type thing.
Is it 4-directional or 8-directional combat?
It is 4-directional.
Because I noticed you having a lot of problems taking out those turret things.
Yeah,
angles.
so that's a good example of when I would switch to my larger sword, like this one, because you sweep like almost 180, maybe a little less than 180, maybe like 130 degrees. So yeah, but so there's a problem. So you can only ever have 2 weapons equipped at a time. So you kind of have to choose before you go into the next room because you can't change out your weapon because the game does not pause. There's no when you go into your backpack or anything, it doesn't pause. Unfortunately, you can't even go into your backpack when there's enemies in the room. But yeah, so you have to. So here's my backpack. So the interesting thing about the backpack is if you die, you only get to keep the things on your person. You have 4 inventory slots on your person, and then you have 4, 8, 12 inventory slots in your backpack. If you die while dungeon crawling, which I think I do in this footage, you lose it all.
What?
Except if it's on your person. Now, that being said, you can equip one item in, like, you have 2 item slots, 2 weapon slots, so
Yeah.
a left one and a right one, say. If you want to bring in a 3rd weapon, that takes up an inventory slot.
Oh shit.
So you have to be very...
So theoretically, you could lose everything but one extra item.
It's like an old school MMO, kind of.
Kind of, yeah. So the way to get around that is if you're kind of maybe getting low on health or you're not feeling it, you can actually spend money to teleport outside of the dungeon with everything. You get to keep everything.
Yeah.
And there definitely have been many times where I should have done that and I didn't. I was like, nah, I definitely can take on this next room. I'm fine.
It's like Dark Souls when you think you can make it without losing any souls, and then you realize you made a
And then
really
you get
bad
your ass
decision.
handed to you, but you make a couple of wrong dodges. Here's actually me going down to the 2nd floor.
I would say about 8 out of 10 times that I made that decision, I was wrong.
Yeah.
I should have said.
The enemies get way tougher each
Damn.
level. And like, so I've only probably been down to the 2nd floor maybe 4 or 5 times. I've just been kind of trying to spend a lot of time grinding on the 1st floor to get a bunch of items, and then so taking them back to your shop. And I haven't even gotten to the shop yet, but I'll get there in a second. So the other thing was, similar to Spelunky, if you spend too long on a floor, a big enemy will start spawning and chasing you down. In Spelunky, it was the ghost. In this, it's this big anamorphic blob creature,
like a nemesis.
kind of. It looks almost like Slimer. And every time he spawns in a room, you can still leave the room when he's there, but every time you go to a new room, he'll just respawn in that room.
Gotcha.
Which looking at the timing of it, it seems like he's actually traversing the room. Because it does take time for him to actually get to the
I
next
wouldn't be
room.
surprised, if that's what he is doing, yeah.
Which that's kind of cool.
No, it is. It is. I've been. So anyway,
Is it can you kill that enemy? Or?
I think so. I was doing damage to him. There's damage numbers, so you can see when you're damaging him. So I was damaging him, but he killed me in 1 hit.
Gotcha.
I was doing a very good job early on at dodging. So the other thing is, you'll notice that some of the items I pick up from chest have to go in specific spots in my inventory. Some things can only go on the very top or the very bottom row. Some things, when you put them in your inventory, when you leave the dungeon, they will affect another item around them. It gets pretty intense.
Oh, so there's like an intent. There's like a.
It's like a grocery bag.
Like
kind of.
simulator.
Like you got a transformation item one night?
Yeah, I got a transformation item. But another thing I didn't mention is you can actually sell items while you're in the dungeon.
Oh.
To
who?
It kind of teleports it, I guess. I don't know. It's weird.
So why would you? So what would be the benefit of just of keeping it on your person instead of just selling it all?
That's a good question, Nick.
Oh shit! I asked a good question.
And that's actually going to lead back to the shop. Did I just teleport out?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Good timing.
Wow, look at you. That was good planning.
Yeah. So when you have your items, you go back to your shop and you're like, oh, look at my inventory. I got all this cool stuff. So you go in. As of right now, I have the base level shop. You can upgrade it later on. I only have 4 spots in my shop where I can sell items right now. And you can do a stack of X amount. I think 10 is the max you can put in any stack. The question is, Nick, how much do you sell it for?
That's a good question.
Oh, yeah, you don't know. So generally, you probably want to price it higher than lower, just to gauge people's interest. So when the day comes and people start coming into your shop, they'll start making faces at things.
Oh, does it happen like real time? Like you actually during the day, people will walk into the shop and then they'll make little faces?
So they'll walk up to an item and they'll make like a really frowny face, like what the fuck, this is way overpriced. Or if they make like a super happy face, I'm like, oh shit, I priced that too high. Probably I could have gotten more money out of them.
Oh, that's cool.
But it's all about learning how much value each item is worth.
Does the game actually tell you, like, say, this item's in high demand?
If you look right here, you can see if it's kind of hard. I didn't stay on that screen long, but there are 4 different like price things to an item. Either they love the price is good, the price is okay, and they'll still buy it, or they hate it, it's way too overpriced.
Yeah.
And so I generally try and start things a little bit high, just so I don't lose money.
Yeah.
And then I'll kind of work them down over throughout the course of the day if people start not liking them. And every time someone buys one, I'll just restock that spot on my shelf with a different item.
So, just as you're making more money, you were talking about having spots in the shop to sell things. Mm-hmm. Does your actual like structure, like your shop, get bigger?
Correct. So I haven't seen it yet. I've been on an inventory.
You're gonna make a fucking shopping mall?
Yes. So I've only been on an inventory screen where I've seen the different types of shops I can upgrade to, and that kind of shows the layout and stuff. So that person liked that item. You have to be at the register. If you're not at the register, they'll walk up and be like, "What the fuck?" and they'll throw it and walk away. What's up,
Gamerback? This is the reason games start at $60.
Oh, exactly.
Fuck.
But yeah, so
That's
as you can
true.
see, I sold that item. So I went in my inventory and I was like, hey, how much have I sold this for in the past? What are the prices people liked for it? And so the thing is, I kind of mentioned, when you're in a dungeon, you can only sell an item if you know like the price. You have to have sold it before for a good price in order to sell it, and that's how much it will sell it for.
Gotcha.
So you kind of spend the day. You'll notice that some people really like some items. Certain types of people will like an item. Certain people like some items just don't sell very well. I haven't figured out exactly why.
Can you leave the shop and like, is there like a town to like walk around, or is it?
So you can't leave the shop while you're selling. Every day you either choose to open or not to open. I don't know if that has any
not working today.
Exactly. I don't know if that has any consequences besides just not making money.
Yeah.
Or what? But yeah. So if I think I do in this footage probably after this day. I think I go out into the town. But yeah. So in the town there is an armorer. Who you go to and you have to craft. He will take your weapons and he will upgrade them and he will craft weapons and stuff like that. For money, it's not cheap, which is why you do need to sell. The amount of gold you get exploring a dungeon is minuscule. I don't think you get any gold while exploring a dungeon. You only get items that you have to turn around and sell. So there's that. There is a shopkeeper who is similar to you and he just sells items for like 10 times what you can sell it for.
Boo.
Yeah, like an item I can sell for like 100 gold, he'll sell for like 1,000.
I was about to say, can you buy his items and then resell them?
You can, but you are not going to get as much money back
as he's getting.
Exactly.
Is he selling like consumable items for you, maybe?
So yeah, he will sell anything you can find in a dungeon. Pretty much. I've noticed. I don't know if he sells everything, but he sold almost everything I've been able to find. But I think it's because a lot of those items you can use in crafting. So I think it's a scenario where it's like, oh shit, I'm short 1 of this item. I can either go do another dungeon run and hope I find it, or I can go to him and just spend the coin and I'll get it right away. Yeah. So then I can craft this new weapon that does a lot more damage.
So are they like quest lines for?
I haven't found any quest lines yet. There might be. I don't know. I haven't found any. There's another shopkeeper in town who sells like potion type items. And the thing that fucking made me mad is I played this game for several hours on the feed the other day, and I didn't realize that the lady who sells those potion items, she'll also take a certain item you can find in the dungeon, and you can use it to like magically enhance your weapons, and I just been selling that item, and I was like, damn it, I sold like 40 of that because I didn't realize I needed it. And so here's an example. This is me. I'm about to go explore the town. So this is the like armor. And you can go through all the different weapons he'll make, and you can see the different stats they have. And I
really like the look of this game.
No, it's visually amazing.
It's very cool.
Is it always like base items you'll find on the first floor, and then it gets better and better and better further down you go?
Kind of.
So is there any way like shortcut to the second floor, third floor?
No, there's not. You have
Every
to
time you
find
leave,
the
you
always have to
entrance.
find it.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh shit!
But I mean, you can just run. A lot of the levels don't like the door's not locked. Even there's enemies in the room you can run through. Here's me. I think I'm about to. Yeah, this is the different. You can see the different shops. And on the right, you can see the layout. So that one, I didn't spend a whole lot of time on it just because I couldn't interact with it. But there show some people on that may be like quest related. I don't know. Like I said, this build is fairly limited.
Yeah.
And I think right here is where I find out that you can like fucking enhance shit, and I was so mad.
Do you these dungeons are they? Do you actually have to find them physically in the world, or do you just teleport to them?
You'll see shortly after this. I don't know how much longer we're going to talk about it, but no, when you leave town, the right outside of town is the entrance to the dungeon.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
You just literally have to walk outside of town.
Holy hell!
Crispy, can you rotate that little blue circle on the desk to the left all the way?
Oh, it gets me every time. Thank you for
Jay
subscribing, Jay Lee.
But anyway, so no, yeah, dungeon's easy to find. The items in the dungeon, like I said, the first ones you find the simpler, cheaper ones, and I like I said, I've only ever been to the second floor. I might have gotten down to the third maybe once. But like I said, the enemies get so much tougher that I was like, this isn't fucking worth it. I'm just going to kind of grind the first floor a few times, make some items, sell them so I can get some money so I can get better weapons. And I'm just now starting to get like better weapons to where I think I can actually go down and explore those deeper floors. Yeah. It was mainly because I wasn't focusing on armor. And I needed better armor, and I finally have it now. But I honestly, I'm not going to play too much of this more.
Because you're going to play it when it releases?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've got a good feel of it. I know I'm going to fucking play it when it comes out. So I'm going to hold off. This is me leaving town. And as you can see, there's... it's hard to tell, but it's mirrored. There's another door on the other side. There's two right above, and like a fifth one at the very top.
And those all go to the same dungeon, or
different dungeons.
Okay, gotcha.
I've only ever seen this golem dungeon.
Gotcha.
Which I assume at the end there's probably a golem I have to fight.
Yeah, so I was gonna say it sounds like you haven't fought a boss yet, but
no,
yeah,
I'm surprised. I'm guessing there will be bosses.
Oh, I'm sure the fifth level. I think, like I said, I think there's 5 levels in each dungeon.
Well, it looks cool as hell. This is and I was like, oh no, this game looks cool. I kind of want to play it, but 2017, and but apparently 2018. So sweet.
If this sounds like something you like, you should play Reciteer.
Reciteer, yeah, similar, yeah.
I don't have time for that.
Came out about 10 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a little older, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Art style isn't as good either.
I do really like that.
I mean, it was designed kind of like a visual novel.
I do really like. Part of the draw for me is I think this game looks and sounds really cool. So like the music sounds good and everything.
Are they going the early access route, or are they going to go 1.0?
I don't think they're doing early access. I think they're doing 1.0.
Oh, that's refreshing.
So that's the other thing. This is an indie game, and it's being supported by the Square Enix Collective, which is kind of like Square Enix is doing a push towards more indie games. Yeah. And so they have a website. You can go check it out. It's called the Square Enix Collective, where they're just like, hey, these are the indie games we're supporting. Here's how you can find out more about them. They did.
So are they helping with funding? Are they publishing, or is it just?
I believe they're helping with funding. I don't know if they're actually publishing.
I think they kind of try and help do their own version of Kickstarter.
Yeah. They do have their own like crowdfunding for the indie games. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. All right, well, that's Moonlighter, and that'll be out next year.
I can't remember exactly when, but yeah, I think
it's guessing probably early.
I think it's early next year. Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know if you'll be playing this because there's an early game that's about to enter early access pretty soon that I think you'll be really interested in knowing. It's called Spy Party.
Oh, fuck you!
Is that really about to enter early access?
Yeah,
yes.
He created.
There's a
wait, that game's not already in early access.
There's a Steam page for it now. Yes, I follow Chris Hecker on Twitter. I saw his tweet.
The release date is soon.tm.
Yeah. Oh my god, Carlos.
Yeah,
you bringing some games to the table this week.
I got a wide assortment of games that I'd like to discuss this fine evening. Let me start off with one that I've been playing on the feed for a bit now. Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah, Dark Corners of the Earth.
Dark Corners of the Earth. Now, this was a game that I was
snooping?
really hyped for back when it was first announced, and I followed its development, its troubled and lengthy development very closely.
It was pretty.
And
pretty
I kind of made it up in my mind. I was like, dude, this game, when it comes out, it's either gonna not it's either not going to be what they were saying it was going to be, or it's going to suck.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't either of those things. It was kind of like a weird mix in between. But I'm really liking it. This is like my 5th time attempting to finish it. It just recently released on GOG.
Carlos, how familiar are you with our experiences with Call of Cthulhu Dark Corners of the Earth?
I know that your particular experiences with Call of Cthulhu, and probably 98% of the people on the world experiences with Call of Cthulhu is them fucking sliding the door bolts on the hotel. Like
Yes.
Hold on. Have you gotten to the
snooping.
starfish yet?
Yes.
Okay. God,
I'm past the starfish.
Okay.
Here. This
That's
is right
pretty-
after this.
Have you
one.
been
Okay,
caught
yeah.
snooping around in here? Is what I want to know.
Yeah.
Get out.
But like, that's what everybody. And I gotta say that's a really well made sequence. Like I
Oh,
remember
dude.
playing that back in the day. It fucking blew my mind.
Dude, we played this. I mean, at most it was about 8 years ago because it was pretty early in our time streaming. But man, like that sequence where you're trying to escape those dudes and like you wake up in the middle of the night and or aren't you kind of like drugged? You wake up being like being drugged, right? And
Yeah.
You're kind of like delirious and having to like barricade the doors and like move like jiggle the door handles and everything and like that was so fucking insane.
You know what my favorite part about that sequence was? Since the game goes really hard about being immersive, there's no crosshair.
Yeah.
So you're trying to like close the door bolt, but your thing is not right, and you
Yeah.
open the door instead, and the dude is standing right
Yeah,
there.
that happened to me multiple times
Yeah.
during that sequence.
Is there a mod to include a crosshair?
There
There's
probably
gotta
isn't,
be,
but you
right?
could do what gamers like me used to do back in
just
the
put
day.
tape
and put
on
a little
it?
piece of tape
You
on
son
the
of a
monitor.
bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
A dry erase marker.
this game is it's like a first-person adventure game.
Yeah.
It's got a couple stealth sequences. It's got a couple shooting sequences. It's got that kind of like shooter feel that like mid 2000s shooters had, like Condemned or The Darkness or Riddick had. Really weighty, really weird.
Yeah.
And I'm really liking it. The
It's also
enemy
great.
AI,
The
enemy AI in
sequences
the
where
game-
you see the enemy's like point of view. Oh man, that was
Yeah.
always like,
And honestly, like when you actually do manage to hit something with your gun, I think it's actually surprisingly satisfying, especially when you're using that shotgun.
yeah.
Shotgun's pretty satisfying. It also like I think this is pre-Amnesia, and I don't think it's necessarily the same.
Yeah.
Exactly the same genre or subgenre, whatever you want to call it, but like as far as atmosphere goes, this was kind of like Amnesia before Amnesia.
It's similar. That's a pretty good point to make. I would say this is kind of like an Amnesia with combat.
Yeah, there we go. And I really liked it, and it's kind of crazy like watching your footage of this because like you're obviously running mods in it, and like I'm comparing it to what I played on the Xbox, the original Xbox, and man, this looks a lot better.
Well, you were playing on Xbox?
Xbox.
Oh, God.
The original Xbox. And it was muddy and janky as hell.
No, this is still like hella janky. Like anytime I save, I gotta cross my fingers, dude, because I don't know if I'm gonna like be able to keep playing. Like I don't know if it's gonna like somebody George said in chat, maybe it's a sanity effect.
Yeah.
Dude, you're
every
like
time you
sniping
save, it
dudes.
crashes.
You're like sniping dudes. Like I couldn't even dream of doing that when I played this on the Xbox. It was too like I couldn't like half the time like there wasn't enough contrast between like the colors of the back like of the walls.
Yeah,
and, like,
everything looks the same tone.
everything
of gray,
was like a
right?
different shade of gray or brown or like puke green.
And while this game, when it was in development, it taught it like a bunch of sanity effects. It was gonna have like, oh, your companion, you might look away, and when you turn back, he's a monster, and you kill him, and then he's dead.
all of a sudden it's your friend on the ground.
Yeah, it's your friend on the ground, and he's dead for the rest of the game. So whatever quests he was gonna be able to help you with, they're gone forever. Of course, none
Some
of
of the
that made
games
it
have
into the
done that,
game because
though.
I just recently, I've been reading up on this game a little, and I found out that since Bethesda published it, they pushed for this game to come out on the Xbox as well as on the PC.
Mm-hmm.
So the team making the game couldn't deal with developing for both platforms at once. So they had to cut a lot of the features that they were planning.
It sucks
to
because,
have
like-
had they stick to a PC only release.
It sucks because like had this game been in development today and come out today with modern platforms, I think a lot of those features would have made it in probably
Like,
no problem.
Most of the sanity effects in the game are just like your screen gets blurry or
Pretty basic
wavy, or if you look at something particularly scary long enough, you will just straight up die.
Yeah.
But the one effect that I really like, and I think it's effective because it has like actual gameplay implications, is vertigo.
Oh yeah.
There's a couple
Oh,
sequences
yeah.
in which you're like running from rooftop to rooftop, and if you look down at the ground for too long, your screen gets really wavy and makes it really hard. So sometimes you're trying to make that next jump, but you hesitate too much.
Yeah.
So then you gotta like look away until your vision goes back to normal for you to try that jump.
Yeah.
And that actually becomes like like a way for you to interact with the game. I think that was pretty.
That
cool.
was pretty cool.
But
Yeah.
that's as far. That's the more interesting of the insanity mechanics, I guess. Also, the AI in this game is really bad.
Yeah.
But bad in a good way. Like it's not bad in the like Far Cry sense, and like how are all these enemies like
finding me,
knowing exactly where I am. No, the enemies are so dumb you can pretty much like shoot their friend like 2 feet away from them and they'll just turn around and go back on patrol.
Yeah.
I don't know if I mentioned this. This is totally off topic here, but just kind of building off of what you said about AI, because I'm playing Assassin's Creed right now. I may have mentioned this before, but like the craziest improvement I think they've made to Assassin's Creed Origins is that like if you're in the middle of like a fort or something and you're trying to sneak around and take people out, if you alert someone, the only people that will be alerted to your presence are the people who are like directly in front of you and people who maybe literally can see you like line of sight. If you can take them out without them setting off any alarms, it literally you can continue on your like.
That's about fucking.
It's the first time I haven't felt like fuck. I wish I could reload.
Yeah,
they
like
need to do that for a GTA.
I mean,
that should be the standard on any game ever at this point.
What was it in like I think in GTA, like if like a bird or something saw you commit a crime, it could like alert the cops.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh god.
No, I think I remember there being a story in which they had trouble with chickens.
Yeah, it was a chicken. That's what it was.
In
It was a
GTA?
chicken.
Yeah.
Oh man.
There were chickens that were reporting and calling the police.
This should be standard.
Yeah.
You excited for the new Call of Cthulhu, Carlos?
I am.
We saw a little bit of that at E3, and I think it looks pretty cool.
I wouldn't mind. I mean, and I think Lovecrafty games, especially ones that are like straight lifted from a Lovecraft story like this one. This is just pretty much Shadow over Innsmouth.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've read that one.
I have
but
not.
It's just that. Like that. This is what that is.
Yeah.
They work pretty well as adventure games. Like you wanna be able to take your time, look at stuff, talk to people.
I think the new one
Solve
coming
puzzles.
out looks cool. I'm a little iffy on the developer, and also it doesn't look like it has like the combat element that this game had, which is kind of a bummer because I think that
I mean,
was
they
actually
didn't show like any combat whatsoever.
because this seems like that was one thing about this game that I liked a lot.
They showed like detective stuff and like a monster encounter.
yeah. So I'm hoping there's some combat in there, but we'll see.
When we went to Focus Home Interactive and we saw those 3 games, we saw Call of Cthulhu, we saw
A Rat's Plague.
a Rat's Plague or something.
I'm actually
Rat's
really
Tail.
interested in Rat's Plague
Yeah. Well,
and Vampire.
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 it was it Vampire?
Yeah.
Okay,
Vampire.
because I remember one of them was supposed to come out this year.
No,
But
Vampire was, and it got pushed to spring
Yeah.
2018. Thank fucking God, because
Yes.
I do want to play that game.
Just not in
And yeah, I
2017.
do not have time for it.
also, it did kind of look a little jank.
Yeah, but
No, it did.
I think they're all going to be that. All the games from that studio are probably going to be a little bit of jank, but that's okay. Also, that's Vampires from the guys that did Life is Strange.
Don't know.
Strangely enough. All right, do you have another game you want to?
Yeah, one last thing about this game before I move on to the next one. I bought this on GOG. It just recently came out on GOG, and like a week afterwards, it was pulled from GOG because for that release, they apparently used some guy's unofficial patch,
Oh yeah.
and I guess they didn't credit him properly, so now they're taking it off while they kind of figure that out.
They jumped through legal
legally.
hoops to get it
Yeah.
back up there.
Yeah, that's not the first time that's happened on GOG.
Of course not.
There's been instances, actually, with a
There's a
bunch
game,
of the
the,
classic Star Wars games that
Yeah,
used.
there was also another game that got
um,
pulled permanently because they couldn't figure out how to deal with that. But on the other hand, the Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines like has the unofficial patch built in with like the patch creator's blessing.
Okay,
Oh, cool.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good.
What's the other game?
All right, so this past weekend, I was able to attend Fantastic Arcade,
Ah, yeah.
You son of
which
a bitch.
is a
Where are they holding that?
the Draft House on Mueller.
Oh, at Mueller.
Yeah.
the new one.
cool.
Yeah.
And there was nobody there. I usually dread going to these
Why
kinds
didn't
of things
you
because
fucking tell me,
parking.
Carlos?
I told everyone on Discord.
You know what?
You don't
didn't
at
tag
people.
anybody.
Well,
You gotta at us,
on
man.
Discord.
You fucking
Fuck you.
you fucking meme. Carlos, for anyone who's not in the know, Carlos is very active in our Discord, but he also out of some weird sense of memeness.
Almost
I don't
feels
know,
like spite.
he refuses to at people.
This is all Chai Tai's fault, too. It's all his fault.
It's somebody's
You
fault.
just had to do that fucking Kung Fury challenge. You got your ass kicked by him.
This is related to the Kung Fury challenge?
Yes!
Oh, God. Anyway, sorry. Continue. What game did you play without us?
I got a chance to play this awesome game called Disco Bear.
Oh, shit.
And, what? Okay. Probably won't talk about this game for more than 2 minutes because this game, you can play it free on your browser. I think it's discobear.com. And it's a story about a bear who uses dancing to put the pain in his life behind.
Makes sense.
Okay.
It's like it's a toy. Like all you do is use the arrow keys to make your bear dance, but there's no like rhythm game to it or anything.
What kind of bear are we talking about here? Polar bear?
It's a polar bear. You're just trying to make him look cool. Like so, you press up, he dances up. You press the side, he dances to the side. You press the side, he dances to the other side. You put it down, he gets it all the way down. He gets all the way down. He turns into a rug. That's how down he gets.
Oh, my
Okay.
God.
Okay.
What the fuck, Carlos?
And the game, it goes places. It's like an actual emotional roller coaster. I played this on the feed the other day. Like the whole thing, it's like 10 minutes long.
The whole
And-
thing, it's like 10 minutes.
I'm beginning to think that the term emotional roller coaster may be overused these days.
I don't know what other idiom to use, homie, but this game is amazing. I think everybody should play it. It's 10 minutes long, literally. It's great. It's great. I laughed. I cried. I watched through the whole credits.
You brought footage.
I brought footage. I brought the whole game. Like, my footage is the whole game. Obviously, you're not going to let the whole thing play, but
I don't know. Maybe we should.
it's great. I mean, maybe you should let it play. No, don't let it play. I'm going to talk about...
Are there spoilers?
Yes. The game that takes a pretty couple of interesting plot twists throughout.
All right.
But now let's talk about the other game that I played at Fantastic Arcade, Into the Breach.
Son of a bitch.
Otherwise known as FTL 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wait,
From
is this-
Subset Games.
Did we
Yeah.
talk about this on the show fairly recently? No?
We talked about it a while ago when it was announced.
Yeah, when it first announced,
Oh,
we haven't really
okay.
talked about it since.
There's even like a highlight of Brad losing his shit
Yeah.
at the Into the Breach reveal trailer.
Oh, right. I remember this one. Okay,
Because it
cool.
looks
Can you
pretty fucking
visualize
good.
it now?
Yes, I can.
It's like an isometric, grid-based, turn-based tactics game where you're using mechs.
Mechs
Yes.
To
and
fight,
environmental like stuff and
Yeah, to fight
If
like
Final
time
Fantasy
travel.
Tactics fucked FTL.
yeah.
This is from the guys who did FTL, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Subset.
Okay, that's what I got.
It's like a two-person studio, I think.
And how was it?
Dude. Oh my god, dude. Dude, it's so good.
You heard it here first.
It's so good. It's so good.
Care to elaborate?
So I
How
can tell
good
you a
is
little
it?
bit about the mechanics. about like the mechanics of the game. Like the point of the game, you might think that it is to. I haven't played a lot. Brad pointed out that I haven't played a lot of grid-based, like turn-based strategy games or whatever. But I can tell you that the point of the game is not to like move your robot next to the bug and punch it until it dies.
Okay.
That's not the point of the game. You're trying to like create these situations in which you can dispatch with these bugs several of them at once, like in kind of creative ways.
Mm-hmm. Like in the trailer, I remember seeing something like blowing up a dam or flooding and some
Yeah.
stuff, or like punching a bug into a building and then the building collapsed on the bug or something like
Oh,
that.
so it's more about finding creative ways to use the environment to take out multiple enemies at
Yeah,
once?
the environment and other enemies and other of your robots.
You can walk up to him and punch him, right?
Yeah, you can
You
walk
can,
up to them
but
and punch
that's-
him, but it's going to be very ineffective.
Gotcha.
Basically, what you're doing is you're defending these cities against invading insects. Like there's a population counter, which is kind of like your HP bar. Like because the bugs are always going to try to attacking the buildings.
Sure.
Like if they attack the buildings enough and they kill enough people, you lose the game. You're trying. Your main goal is not to take out the insects, is to protect the buildings. And every scenario doesn't end when you kill the bugs in it. Every scenario ends when a certain amount of turns passes. Like you drop your robots and they tell you, all right, this scenario is going to go on for 5 turns. So for those 5 turns, you have to defend the buildings.
Sure.
And throughout that whole time, new bugs are going to be spawning in.
I kind of want to watch
The way
launch
you're
trailer
pitching
for
this to me, it sounds like kind of, and just hear me out on this, like kind of like a match 3 puzzle game, combined with I forget the name of the series. It's a dungeon based like humiliation Rube Goldberg game.
What the fuck?
Where people are invading your dungeon and you have to set up like Rube Goldberg traps to eliminate them in the most humiliating way
Match
possible.
3, no. Rube Goldberg, maybe. And not really, because you don't really know where they're going to show up. Like, every other turn or so, there'll be cracks on the ground where new bugs are going to show up.
Sure.
And you can put a robot on top of that, and it'll prevent the bug from spawning, but your robot will also take damage.
Okay.
You can also, anytime your robot punches someone, it not only causes damage, but it also moves in one tile.
Correct.
That's what you saw,
Yes.
somebody punching
And
somebody
it moved
punching
the
a bug into
robot
a building,
or
which
bug,
wasn't
yeah.
smart, because it's going to damage the building as well,
Yeah.
which is what you're trying to stop. But you could have punched that bug into another bug.
Yeah.
You could have punched the bug into water, which would kill it instantly.
Oh, so they don't like water.
You could have punched the bug into an opening and thus prevent a bug from coming out and damaging that bug. Okay, you've seen this game now, right?
Yeah, Crispy's trying to bring the footage over here, I think, but he keeps
You having
failing.
trouble, Chris?
Oh, what is it?
There it is.
Okay.
I can. This is.
And there's different types of units as well. Like there's your basic robot that punches. There's an artillery unit, which has a pretty interesting way of working. The artillery unit has a minimum range, and it will hit in a cross-shaped pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Only the enemy on the center of the cross will take damage. The other ones are only gonna get moved one tile.
So they only get moved. They're
only gonna get moved from the explosion.
I see.
So you can use that on your turn. You can use your artillery guy to line these other two guys up. So then your punching robot can move up next to them and do a domino effect where he punches one and he falls into the other one and he falls into the other one, and the last one hits a mountain or something.
Yeah.
And takes damage.
Well, that was
And
cool.
There's a precognition thing at work as well, because you always know, the game always tells you what the enemies are gonna do. So the game tells you next round, this bug is gonna attack this building. If you punch the bug out of the way, he is still going to attack, but
He's
now that
probably
the
gonna
building
miss.
is no longer in front of him, he's gonna attack something else. You might get him to attack a different bug
Okay.
or a mountain or something. There are also tiles with unique behaviors, like forests. If you use an energy weapon to attack a bug that's in a forest tile, it'll set the forest on fire.
Mm-hmm.
So there's terrain modifiers and things like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's terrain modifiers.
That's cool.
And your units can move through water. Water doesn't kill them like bugs, but they can't attack while they're in water.
Ah, okay.
This looks really cool.
It's really cool.
Do we know when this is coming out?
They said early next year.
Add it to the list of. You know what I'm gonna guess? February.
Probably.
Fuck you,
That's
Larry.
that's where everything is coming out now. I'm gonna go ahead and say it here. Moonlighter, probably February.
And also there was a mission and each mission has bonus objectives, like 1-star, 2-star, 3-star
Sure.
objectives. One of them was, because I played the tutorial in 3 missions. One of them was you had to defend these rockets until they launched.
Mm-hmm.
So every other turn, a rocket would launch. But right before they launched, the game will warn you these spaces around the rockets are gonna catch on
yeah.
fire. So you want to try to
Really get the
lure
bugs
bugs
towards
there
it,
and
yeah.
get your guys out of the way.
That's
so there's
really
a lot
cool.
of stuff going on at once. And the way leveling works in the game is your pilots level up after battles. Like if a mech takes enough damage in battle, the pilot gets killed, but the mech is just disabled. So you can no longer use the mech for the remaining of the battle. But you will just, put a new pilot on it
Yeah.
and use it next time. But, that pilot may not have the abilities that the last one had.
Also worth mentioning, Scarecrow mentions in chat, Ben Printy is confirmed to be doing the music
Yeah, no, he is doing
Yeah.
the music,
for
definitely.
this. So if you
Good.
like the soundtrack for FTL, then this is going to be dope as hell, I'm sure.
Are they still going for the roguelike aesthetic for it, for the story, or
Yeah, there's a little bit of procedural generation involved. There was a talk. They did like a 1-hour talk at Fantastic Arcade. I didn't watch it because you need passes for it, but I watched the video on demand on Twitch, and it was really interesting. And I think you guys should watch it too.
I would love to.
One last thing is, whenever you lose the game, I lost the game once. I don't know if it was because it was like a demonstration done by the demo. 'Cause It was
Yeah.
like a demo, or they actually fucked up. But when you lose, you basically rewind time to the beginning, but you get to take one pilot back with you.
okay?
So it's not like you're starting over from scratch. You're gaining a small advantage just
Yeah.
from whatever progress you managed to do on that run.
Are the like the pilots? Are they kind of like the crew on your ship in FTL, where they have like a very limited like rank up system?
I would say they're more like your subsystems.
Okay, so it's more fleshed out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because pilot like if you level up the pilot that drives your punching robot, he might get an upgrade that lets him punch twice in a turn or move an extra tile.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
I think it's really cool that they made a game that I think is so dramatically, at least in like visual style and everything, is pretty dramatically different from FTL.
And
It's
Also,
very different,
FTL is still very high on my pile of shame as a game I've never played.
What?
I know. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Anyways, we need to take a break. Thank you, Carlos, for going to. I'm glad we sent you to Fantastic Fest to cover the event.
Yes.
Son of a bitch.
We gave you a budget and everything.
Damn.
$0. Anyways, we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, there's a few more little games to talk about to cover before we do news, and there's still plenty to talk about in the news. So, if you're watching, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a moment. Also, if you're listening, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a moment.
Dragons docking too.
Dark-
Online.
Dark Arisen.
Dark Arising, or something. All right.
Dark erection, guys.
Thank you. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I don't know why that was low hanging fruit. I don't
Dark
know why I
erect-
didn't go for that
erecting.
one. You see what I did there?
It's not very low hanging now.
I mean, maybe it is afterwards.
Pointing straight up.
Everybody, shut up! Welcome back to the podcast.
That'd be the worst if your
Welcome back to the podcast.
erect
Yay.
penis always pointed down.
Oh my God! Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. We have a couple more games to talk about, just a little bit. Nolan.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even realize you hadn't started this game,
Mm-hmm.
but now you have.
Mm-hmm.
What are you playing?
Well, Evil
You're-
Within 2?
Are you trying? No, I was
I'm
going
playing
with-
that.
Oh, how's Evil Within 2 going?
There's
not an overlay for
I
that,
haven't
but-
beaten it yet. Chapter 8?
You're
7?
okay.
Where was I, Chris, the last time you saw me playing? Where I
You-
was killing the flamethrower guys.
Oh,
You've done the boss fight, so you're over 2/3 of the way.
Okay. I'm
yeah.
getting there.
The last
I'm getting there.
6 chapters or so are pretty
Very
quick.
linear.
Cool.
Very linear.
I'm getting there. I'm enjoying it. But anyway, the game. So on Saturday, I wanted to cast from the couch. I've been doing that more lately. I've
Yeah.
been enjoying that.
I really
Uh,
enjoyed casting from this couch.
Yeah.
Nice.
It made it to where I didn't have to set up my green screen because I just used the one that was already there, and that made life easier. The problem is I have trouble casting Evil Within 2 onto my TV because it runs at 30 frames a second and it just doesn't run as well as when I play it on my PC.
Oh, okay.
On my 144 hertz monitor,
Yeah.
I can't not play it like that. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna play a console game, and I decided to finally start Nier Automata.
Man.
Yeah.
Woo!
I promised I would beat this before the year's over, and I finally started it. Holy shit, this game's fucking good. And I'm only 5 hours in.
It's like I knew I wanted Crispy on
Crispy,
the couch.
shut your
for this
fucking
conversation.
mouth. Let me enjoy my life.
It's the most bizarre reaction to a game I think I've ever seen anybody have. Is Crispy's.
So first off, I never finished the first Nier. I don't know how many hours of it I played. Maybe 10, 15, 20 maybe.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the music from it. And so I knew I was going to enjoy the music from this.
I think this
everyone
is easily the best soundtrack.
had told me how good it was, and I finally started playing it, and wow, soundtrack's fucking awesome.
Soundtrack is dope as hell.
It's good.
It is better than good, Crispy.
It's good.
It is phenomenal.
It is good.
Okay, go on.
Like best of the year,
Yes.
really?
I didn't say best of the year.
I think I am
no,
saying
I know. Best
that
of
was
the year.
my opinion. Also, to be honest,
Nick has
I was-
not played enough Hollow Knight.
I was think. I have admittedly, I think this is
Talk about good soundtracks.
I think this has been an excellent year for games in general, but I don't necessarily think it's been an excellent year for standout soundtracks. But I do.
No.
I think Nier is one of them, and I am still planning on playing Hollow Knight before the end. In fact, I might even start it over the weekend.
Do it, Nick. You won't fucking regret it.
I just want to finish one of the games
maybe
I'm
you should
already
also
playing.
fucking finish that game.
Which one?
Hollow
Hollow
Knight.
Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Nier Automata.
got
I'm not super far into it. I don't know how to gauge length.
That's what she said. Sorry.
I guess. I mean, it's easier for her. But anyway, this game, I don't really know. I know there's multiple endings. I don't really. I thankfully I've avoided any type of spoiler at all.
That's a miracle, considering how much we even talked about it. I think we were having trouble dodging spoilers.
Every time y'all started getting into something a little, I would always just kind of go,
I was the same way.
But yeah, so yeah, I had no idea. I literally didn't know anything going into this game besides the demo I had played. So when I got to like the amusement park area, I just started fucking going to town.
Yo, Jesus.
No, they're all
don't
happy.
do that.
Yeah.
Actually, I admittedly did that as well.
They're all happy.
So here's the
innocents.
problem. I didn't know because I had 9S on aggressive
Oh,
mode.
shit.
He started killing everything, and I was like, kill
Yeah,
time!
you gotta rein them in.
And then chat was like, no, and I was like, wait, what?
Dude, I went in there swinging,
Uh-huh.
started killing him. I killed like 15 of those things before I was like, are these guys even attacking me? And
You
then I
guys
just
are
stopped
monsters.
moving.
Yeah.
And I was like,
You guys are
oh no.
fucking
murderers?
monsters.
Yeah. But
The
anyway,
worst.
I've been enjoying it. It's I don't know what I can say about it. Like, y'all have both beaten it.
I think this
multiple
is
endings.
you know maybe when Nolan finishes it, we'll let that be the event that prompts us to finally do a spoiler,
I would love to.
because I think this is
Even though,
my
like I said,
goodness.
even though I'm not at
There's
that.
greenery.
Oh no, there is. Yeah.
Wait, you didn't know there was greenery in this game?
Like all the footage I've ever seen of this game is that
Don't tell me
The
you
fact-
gray and
The
desert
first area.
Yeah.
Either the factory or the
Really?
desert. Yeah.
Yeah.
They,
crazy.
they didn't show too much footage.
Oh,
like
wow.
I mean, we've shown footage on this podcast.
We have,
of
yeah.
this shit.
almost the
You
entire hub of this
dealt
game is
with footage.
anyway, that's
I
besides the
tune
point.
y'all out. I don't
You
listen
can
to y'all.
fish. It's
you-
much better than the first game.
Yeah.
I was
most.
gonna ask about your
I would
fishing
say most
game.
every aspect of this game is much better than the first game.
I don't know.
Most.
I miss planting rice and crops.
Why you still walking around with her skirt on?
I don't have any way to take it off.
Oh, yes,
yeah,
you
do. Yes, you do.
But we're not going to spoil that for you.
You sure do.
You sure do, though.
I recently put a Yoko Taro. What was it?
Yeah,
Yeah, the
Yoko-
Yoko Taro.
Yoko Taro head. I recently
or
got
the Emil head.
yeah that,
Yeah.
and I also got the because I finally downloaded the Day One DLC file, and so I have like instead of my pod looks like Grimoire Vice,
Oh, nice.
which is fucking sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty
But yeah,
Are you playing this on
PS4.
PS4?
Yeah, no, I that's the copy I have, so that's what I'm playing.
Oh yeah,
on.
I was just noticing it looks pretty good. And I was
No,
like,
it does look
Yeah.
good. I wish I was playing it on PC, but I didn't have a copy of it on PC.
It runs pretty good on.
No, it does. I've had no issues on the PS4.
Have you done any boar riding?
Not yet. I need to do. I know
That's
I have
pretty fun.
bait, and I can attract them. And I said there's like a satchel or something. I've kind of looked into it. I just haven't had time yet.
It's a
You
big
can also
boar.
ride a moose.
The moose, yeah, I figured I saw them too.
You can ride a moose?
Yeah,
You can definitely ride mooses.
Moose riding.
Meese. I'm sorry.
No, just moose.
How
Meats.
much blood does a boar have in its
Not
body?
enough. But yeah. So anyway, I don't know what else to say about it right now. I've only done like one boss.
Yeah, you haven't even started the game.
Yeah, I know.
You haven't even started the prologue.
dude. I played.
This isn't even the game. I don't even know what
Crispy,
this is.
Have you played Nier? Not
I have
Automata.
not played the original.
Then
no.
yeah, I understand the concept of not
Maybe it's
having
the
even
tutorial
started.
section?
Yeah, but you don't understand. This game shoved itself up its ass way more than the first one.
No, I'm aware that happens. I don't know exactly how, but I will find out hopefully here in
I
the
think
next
that is
week.
my favorite thing about this game is just kind of peeling the layers of the onion.
I
and,
do
like,
have the next few the onion butt. The next few
hell
days
yeah, the
off.
onion butt. I'm sorry.
Onion's a good metaphor for this game because it's stinky but delicious.
Okay,
yeah,
but
and it has an amazing soundtrack, like an onion.
Yeah, like an onion would. Sounds great. Just like
Can you
onions.
get away with playing this without playing Nier?
yes,
Yeah,
Yes.
You can.
for sure.
You know what? It's funny because I did play Nier, but
Don't
I
remember a
remember
thing.
I remember almost absolutely nothing about the context or story of Nier 1, and I still played this and enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that is to say,
God, I hate running into fucking bushes.
Stinky in that it makes you cry.
Yeah.
it does.
It'll make you cry. It made me cry.
Okay, good to know.
Cool. Well, we'll check back in with you.
Because I was so happy to be done with it. Oh shit! No, I'm joking. It's good. It's a fine game.
Well, yeah, we'll check in. We'll check in with you on future shows, Nolan. And I do know that we still have people requesting us to do a spoiler cast for this game. So maybe it's almost time.
Yeah, almost time.
Any other little games to? I'm playing more Assassin's Creed. I'll just drop that in there. Boom. Still working my way through that beast of a game.
I think I've decided I'm not going to play that this year. I want to. I don't have time.
Everybody's got to pick something that they can't get to.
Yeah.
So it doesn't.
And thankfully, because I do want to play it on PC, so I'll wait for. I'm sure some deals will come around by the time I get around to playing.
You know what I forgot to mention the one time I talked about it. I think. But one of my favorite things about this game is when you're out in the desert, which there is a lot of because it takes place in Egypt. If you stay out in the desert during the day for too long, you start to hallucinate. You have there's mirages and stuff, and you can see some crazy shit. Like, I don't want to spoil. I'm pretty sure I saw a allusion to Journey in there, like an Easter egg to Journey.
That's cool.
You can also see. I've heard. I have not seen this myself, but I've heard you can see locusts blocking out the sun.
Weird.
Like biblical shit.
Speaking of like stuff like that, I didn't fucking Evil Within 2 has fucking Vault Boys and all the shit you can collect just for laying in the world. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, there's a Doom guy action figure.
They have one thing
Dishonored mask.
They have something for every other major. I think there's even a Prey thing in there.
There's 9 or 10 of them.
I think so, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
They're hidden all over that game.
Yeah.
I found the robot dog from Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robot
the
Dogs from
Panzerhund,
Wolfenstein. So yeah. All right. Well, let's.
While I was sick, I played through the campaign of Call of Duty.
Oh, you're gonna squeeze this in there.
I just want to throw this out there. It sucks. It's a terrible campaign. It's the greatest hits of everything that happened in World War II.
You just want to squeeze this in there for you, Crispy.
You talked about it last week. You were positive on it, I assume.
We didn't have a show last week.
Oh, did you not listen to the podcast?
No, I was sick.
Oh, your
His ears
stopped
don't.
working?
My ears stopped.
His ears don't work.
They only function for
So you just were watching Netflix with the subtitles on because you couldn't hear anything.
I mean,
precisely.
That's all my brain could process.
I have not seen anybody have such a violent reaction to the campaign as you have, Crispy.
It was not the best
Josh
game
Duhamel
of the
is
fucking
terrible
year.
in it.
Josh Duhamel's in
Dude,
it?
he's like the main.
You're fucking
he's your
high on
platoon
coding.
leader.
Hey, you know what? I'm not.
No, he's bad. He's bad.
Dude,
I'm not sinking to your level.
No.
Like 2/3 of that game is stealing. It feels like it's stealing content directly from Medal of Honor Allied Assault. Because there's levels in which you're defending a bridge. There's a Battle of the Bulge mission, which you're literally fighting along the same line.
Dude,
okay?
There's a
the
fucking
D-Day
mission in
map.
the game where they invade the beaches of Normandy, on these big fucking ships, because it's a Call of Duty fucking World War II game, and that fucking happened in World War II.
And it's bad.
No, it's
not.
not.
It's a bad D-Day
Dude,
level.
Listen, I'm all for...
You're off the beach in 45 seconds.
I'm all for dragging on Call of Duty when it fucking deserves it, but this was actually a pretty good campaign. It was pretty fun. It was engaging. It was a fun story. It wasn't overly long or anything. Your take is a bad take.
Oh shit! Shots fired.
God damn it.
Oh my god. Oh, you know what?
I mean, I don't have time to go into why I really don't like it.
I think you should. This is exactly the time for it. Why
look
did you
at
not
him.
like
Look at
it?
him. He's like, fuck no. We gotta move on.
If he's gonna do this, I'm gonna go through why I think Blops 2 is a terrible campaign.
What was so egregiously bad about this?
I just the character work I really didn't like. As far as the gameplay goes,
White guys fighting
the
in
biggest
World War
answer
II.
ever.
Yeah, what does that mean? What did you not like?
well, I think the performances were just kind of generically bad overall. I don't like how Josh Duhamel performed his character. I think the story plot points linking all the characters together were kind of weak. I think they could have been a lot better. I think the characters could have been written together better.
They could have been written together better.
It wasn't.
Yeah, there's no point in the game in which Josh Duhamel's character, I don't even remember his name. There's no point in that game where he becomes redeeming or entertaining or interesting. He's just this guy that's constantly coming at you and yelling
Dude, what
at
are you talking about?
and getting drunk and getting mad at you.
There's this whole plot line about like this fucking battle that he's the only survivor of.
Well, no. The battle they speak to is it's one of the first battles in the North African campaign, in which it was one of the first encounters the American army had with the German army.
Do you know what I think this is?
Dude, he definitely gets a moment towards the end of the game. It turns around for his character. It might not be the best turn of a character ever in the fucking history of literature, but that was satisfying enough for what this was. Like, I don't know.
Do you know what I think this is an example of?
I can't believe I'm defending Call of Duty to you, but
that is
but
you know what I think this is an example of? You know how people who work in like hospitals or like nurses, they can't watch things like hospital shows. You know what I'm talking about? Like people who
right.
people who
Chris
work
Davis has been in too many wars.
No,
to
but,
take all
but he
that
always,
seriously.
but he
I'm a
knows.
veteran.
But it's like he studied these wars like extensively, and he knows like all the major dates and events and all these wars that like I can't things that I've never even heard of. Like, you know, he seems like he's very steeped in history, and maybe that's what it is. I don't fucking know.
That's one of Bernadette's biggest pet peeves, besides Chris Davis.
Okay, I knew that was coming.
Defibrillators. How
they don't work like that.
That's not how they work.
It's like
Well, like, do you know what a defibrillator does?
don't ask me because
that's fine. You're not a doctor. Or
if I give you
don't
an
use
answer right
them.
now, you know where I probably learned it from?
What's that?
Probably like some movie or TV show where they use a
Exactly.
defibrillator.
Yeah.
What do they use it for?
Oh, restarting people's hearts, like in
Yeah.
Casino Royale.
Yeah, that's not what those do. if someone's heart was stopped and you did that,
They'd be dead.
wouldn't do anything.
Oh.
A defibrillator shocks your heart back into a regular rhythm.
So it has to have a rhythm.
Yes. If your heart's not beating, a defibrillator does nothing.
Okay, Chris.
And that's the thing, is like, I guess it's just the shock value. Of clear! Like, it looks cool, but that's not what it's for.
Here's a point I think we can agree on with this game. The sound design is bad. Not a single weapon in the game sounds powerful. The actual audio location of things going on in the environment is bad. There's
I don't agree with
I'm
you.
not even going to go into like the voice acting because that just goes into the story and then how that's told. But like I
The
don't.
voice acting.
Oh, guys.
I feel like we played two different games. Look, I'm not a fucking Call of Duty fanboy or anything like that, but I believe that when something is at least decent, it deserves at least that much credit. And you coming in here and like dragging all over it is confusing as shit to me because I don't fucking get what this game did to be that offensive.
All right,
to
here's
you.
the deal.
I played through it in like a night and enjoyed it and was like, wow, I'm surprised I like this Call of Duty game.
All right, we're going to move on
Okay.
right now, but I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm going to be the deciding factor in this. I'm going to play this campaign,
Okay.
and I'm going to side with one of you.
Okay.
I'm not going to... I'm going to give you my honest to God opinion on it. I'm going to do it. But that's for another show. Anyone got this game? Can I borrow it?
No, I rented
I got it on PC.
All right, I'm going to red box this
Is that
shit.
what it is? Did you pay for it? That's what it is. You just pay $60 for these games when you know that they're not going to be that good, and then you just fucking hate them.
Oh my god. Is that what it is?
No.
You pay for this?
I mean,
That was the
I
best.
did buy it with my own money. I gave my money to Activision
At what? What price?
at the
At $60
value,
At the asking
yeah.
price.
You're a fucking chump, man. What are you doing? What are you doing, man?
Because one of these days
First of all-
they'll actually create a good campaign.
But I
again.
can't... Okay.
But that doesn't mean you have to fucking buy the bad ones. If you keep buying the bad ones, they're not going to make good ones.
Because year after year they like present something that's kind of interesting and like, okay, I want to try that.
it's kind of worth fucking red boxing it.
I'm going to be
You
honest.
can't redbox PC games.
I'm going to be honest, Chris Davis. I liked pre-order shit, but even I knew not to pre-order Call of Duty or Battlefront 2 and pay $60 for them. Because there is way too much controversy, especially Battlefront 2. Way too much controversy, even like weeks before that game came out. I was like, I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot pole. I'm going to redbox that shit, if at all.
Okay.
Just saying. But I'm gonna redbox the shit out of this, and we're gonna find out. I'm gonna add that to my list for this 4-day weekend.
Do it.
I'm gonna devote 4 hours or
Look
so.
forward to it.
Crank out a Call of Duty game. You know what? Most of the
To hear your thoughts about the health system.
most of the Call of Duty games that I've played, campaigns I've played, I've enjoyed. The one the one I actually started playing and actively had to stop myself because I didn't like it. I stopped halfway through it.
Was Blobs 2.
Black Ops 2.
I would like to have a
thought
discussion with you about that.
I thought that campaign was garbage.
So good.
It's really
And I don't
interesting.
even want to touch Black Ops 3 because Black Ops 2 left such a bad taste in my mouth. And you know what?
No, don't play Black Ops 3. Don't play Black Ops 3. It's a piece of shit.
And I loved Black Ops 1. Anyways, we've talked way too much about Call of Duty. I shouldn't have even let you bring that up, you son of a bitch.
I will promise not to bling that up next time.
I will, now I'm going to bring it up. So I'm going to play it. Anyways, we need to move the fuck on.
It's time for news.
We have news topics to discuss.
Yep.
I'm just going to let you pick one, and we're going to roll with it
I'm just going to go straight.
from the bottom. What do
bottom
we
up.
got? Oh yeah. Okay, so the Game Awards coming up. We don't need to go through the list. I'm just saying
let's not.
you're at least familiar with them, Crispy.
Ish. Yeah.
The Game Awards, they have announced their nominees. There are some weird. I think the only reason that this is worth bringing up really is there are some kind of weird choices that I think that are kind of exemplify the state of the industry right now, and like just like how everything is so muddled. Like Game of the Year, like
The choices feel very safe.
some choices feel safe. I mean, first of all, it's okay. Safe is fine. Whatever. There are some choices that are safe, and there are some that are just like, oh, is that what we're doing now? Is this how this works? Like, I think PUBG being up for Game of the Year is kind of insane. Personally speaking.
That could have been Prey or Resident Evil 7.
Could have been. I mean, it's just like the game. I think there's something to be said about the impact that early access has had on this industry. That we are now considering games that have been in early access for the better half of a year to be Game of the Year. I think that's pretty fucking weird.
I think I understand where you're coming from, but the thing is, Nick, can you go out,
It seems like it needs its own category to
spend
me.
money on a game, and then play that game? Does that mean the game's out? I mean, yeah, like you said, we're in a weird time. I went
I'm
on
not
the
necessarily-
internet, and I was like, PUBG, buy, and I bought it.
I'm not necessarily
And then I spent like
saying-
40 hours playing it. To me, that sounds like I played a game.
Yeah.
So I
you're right.
understand what you're
but
saying.
It's just weird. Like, what
it's
happens
still
next year
weird.
when they drop the game? Like they say, all right, now it's officially out and it has all these features you didn't have before.
It's coming
But then,
out
like,
this year.
I know, but you okay,
Stop making that argument,
you say that now. Well, all I'm saying is, like, it's gonna come out so late this year that most people that play it are gonna play it probably next year.
20 million people have bought
There's-
this game.
All right, maybe
There's
this.
a shit ton of people
20
playing it.
million.
Like, Nick, I know
Then
what you're
maybe
saying.
they should just say it's out.
It's a weird thing.
Maybe they should just say it's out. I think
And for all intents and purposes, it is. It's just not the 1.0 or whatever
Yeah.
release.
But you know
version.
the stupid thing about this is you're gonna start seeing it popping up on Game of the Year lists next year because there are other categories in this
probably
thing
will.
that have like Overwatch is nominated for awards this year.
Yep.
I think
It's
that is
it's
the
nominated
strangest
for
thing.
I mean, if their cycle is December to November, then yeah, sure, it'll pop up on their lists. But again, if it comes out next month, it qualifies for 2017,
Yeah, for sure.
Fair enough.
which
I'm-
it will. And you'll
believe
have
it when I see
to
it.
eat
So
some
guess
crow.
what Chris
Well, the
Davis'
thing is,
number one game this year is?
Here's the thing.
I mean, I won't lie. I put over 250 hours into that game. I definitely will have it in my top 10.
At this point, if they're gonna say version 1.0 is launching in mid to late December of PUBG, I think the only reason they're doing it is for consideration for Game of the Year. That's what it seems like to me because
Yeah, probably.
there's no other reason why they wouldn't just wait and launch it. Like it seems like they clearly seem like they have. There's going to be work continuing on that game into 2018. Like it seems like why are they even dropping it in December if not to be considered on Game of the Year list, even though the game may not technically be ready.
Well, that's been their production.
And
schedule
I didn't even want to bring this up to
though.
talk. I don't want to focus on PUBG for this entire thing. I just wanted to bring up the Game Awards. They're coming next month, and they've announced it. They announced all their award nominees. I think the bigger thing is obviously there's going to be another slip. It's weird. We have all these events that start coming out at the end of the year. We just had Paris Games Week.
Yep.
PlayStation Experience is coming out. Is that before the? That's
Yeah,
That's next month too, right?
Yeah, for like first or second week of next month.
And
yeah.
there's going to be announcements there. The thing is, since its inception, the Game Awards it's kind of become this thing where like it's yet another thing where they announce big games.
Yeah, but every year it feels like diminishing returns.
It does. It
Like,
really does.
Every year there's fewer and there's fewer and there's fewer.
They keep.
I think that Sony's just shot their load for the year. I don't think we're going to see a whole lot at PSX, let alone the Game Awards.
there is one thing. There was one thing that they said we were going to see at PSX.
There was something, yeah.
I know they're going to be showing off more of Ghost of Tsushima. The thing is, there's going to be a lot of showing things that have been previously been announced but not shown much of.
Like, I think the most we can hope for in terms of announcements.
Factions 2, baby.
No, they'll talk about that next year at E3.
They could still talk about it.
I could
I
see
mean,
them
I
doing
doubt.
factions.
No, I think they'll talk about From Software's next project, and I think that's about it.
That's probably one of the things they'll talk about.
Really, I think that's super hopeful.
It's time.
You say that like that's
Define
definitive.
time.
Like, it's been Dark Souls 3. When did it come out?
Last year?
Early.
No, was that 2 years ago? Was that a
Early-
2015 game as well?
March.
2015, right?
No, it was.
It was
early
last year.
last year.
Yeah.
It was like March last year.
Yeah, it was March 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's time for it to, pop up and
So
Time
you're saying
to
Bloodborne
leave.
2?
I mean, they've got 3 teams that we know of working on something. So it's Bloodborne 2, or it could be their whole new IP that they've been working on.
So what are we going to see at the Game Awards? Like, what did they announce last year at the Game Awards? Anyone remember?
No.
Did they announce anything? Like, there was...
Yeah, the Schick robot guy,
Hydro Chic Man.
Hydro
Yeah.
Schick man.
Yeah.
What? Did I miss
Someone asked
something?
The Schick
Apparently
Hydrobot.
someone
Hydrobot.
asked
Schick
Is he gonna be
Hydrobot. He's
there?
not going to be there this year.
No.
What's the point of even watching if Schick Hydrobot's not going to
I
be
have
there?
I
no
tell you
clue
what
what you're
we
talking-
are going to see. We're going to see a bunch of DLC announcements.
Well, of course, DLC.
Probably so.
But that's going to be like the main bulk of it. Like, maybe like Switch ports of
You
pre-existing
know what?
games.
We'll find out when it happens.
Yeah, you're right.
It's
Alright,
it's
what's
probably going
next?
to be recorded next week, and
What's
they'll air
next
it
in
like
the
2 weeks
news?
later.
Yeah. What's next? Let's do the next one.
Next is...
I didn't mean for that to become a whole thing. Oh, this is weird.
Yeah.
This is weird. Warner Brothers has announced they've started a new, not only a new studio. I think it's like an entire like subdivision of like, or an entire division of studios, like multiple studios devoted to working on Harry Potter games.
Hey, there's a lot of potential money there.
I
to
know
make
there's a lot
good
of potential
game.
money to be
mean-
made there. It just feels kind of the timing feels kind of weird, like because the actual Harry Potter franchise ended like in theaters, long
Well,
time
they're
ago.
ramping up.
I mean, they're
Fantastic
ramping up.
Beasts.
They're
Yeah.
ramping up Fantastic Beasts pretty well, and I
And J.K. Rowling has put out some like semi-sequel
I
stuff.
know, and don't get me wrong,
It's weird.
it's just kind of.
But it's less weird when you consider that the kind of games that they're probably going to be putting out are going to be like free to play stuff.
Well, they've said like the one that they've actually announced is like a mobile game.
Man.
But that is like they have said they're working on games spanning all platforms from mobile to
But there's all
PS4
sorts
also.
of potential as far as how you can make a Harry Potter game.
That you could fucking do
Like,
anything.
you
can do
That's like
anything.
the one thing I'm most.
But there hasn't been a
excited-
precedent yet for like good Harry Potter games.
No, there's not been a good Harry Potter game. No, but like I said, the
Quidditch World Cup.
Okay,
guys.
sure.
Come
What is
Come on.
Chucklefuck? What is that studio's name?
Oh, whatever.
Huh? Well, yeah. Anyway, they're publishing, not developing. I can't remember the developer of the game. But it's like Stardew Valley meets Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah. I
the-
saw that. Yeah, I can't remember what
That
it's called.
that fucking sounds exciting to me.
No, I don't get me wrong. I'm interested to see what comes.
What's
By the
that?
way, the studio, the division is called, or the division or the studio is called Portkey Games.
Portkey
If you always get the reference there, but I don't know. I'm excited. I mean, there's potential. I'm trying not to get my hopes up because obviously these are going to be quote unquote licensed games, but I'm hoping, we've seen it. We've seen a pretty good. We've at least. I feel like we've as an industry we've gotten far enough away from like that. Just by default, like licensed games being terrible.
Yeah.
We've seen there's been a precedent for well-made licensed games. I hope this is a continuation of that.
Yeah.
But it might be a while before we find out where this goes. I just thought the timing was kind of strange because we're kind of right in between. Like they've just started ramping up marketing for Fantastic Beasts, but that movie's not even out until next Christmas.
I mean, the
But
first
honestly,
one just
I would
came
be
out not too
surprised.
long ago.
I
Was
would-
that this year?
Last year was last
Last year, end of last year. Yes, I mean it's still like fresh on people's minds.
So, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if the first like major release we see from this studio comes in like December of next year, right around the time Fantastic Beasts comes out. All right, next one, Mr. Davis. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so EA. This is all related to the whole Battlefront loot box thing. Let's try not to get too wrapped up in it. A crazy series of events occurred last
Bordering
week,
on
perhaps
ridiculous.
unprecedented.
Yeah.
People were outraged about the whole about EA's approach to character progression in Battlefront 2, and how it was a ridiculous amount of time and or money that
I
had
was
to be
hearing
spent.
40 hours to unlock
To
one
unlock.
hero.
Like you can unlock some heroes. I hear in like a much shorter amount of time, but they're like.
The ones you don't care about.
Yeah, like if you want to play as Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker, one of the major characters, it requires a major time sink and or money to be
In the
shelled out,
current
right?
version of the game, you can unlock one of those.
Hey, we're talking about current version. We're talking about what happened.
Okay.
But
We'll get to that, Chris Davis.
Okay. When you talk about heroes that we don't care about, I hope you're not referring to Lando Calrissian.
I'm not
Wait, is he
referring
in
to
the
Lando
game?
Calrissian.
Yes, he is.
He totally is.
wait, which
Space cape and everything.
Yeah.
is it Donald Glover?
Yeah, Beck brings up a good point. It was $2,100 to buy everything. If you
Wow,
wanted to
that
just-
doesn't seem like that.
You know
much.
the voice, the voice they got for Lando Calrissian. It's actually pretty good.
Is it? Help me out.
Not Billy Williams.
Okay,
I don't
thank
think.
Yeah, I highly
Though
doubt
if
it.
it was,
No,
that'd be
Billy D.
interesting.
Williams is not dead.
Troy Baker played Luke Skywalker in this one.
Really?
Yeah. Or no, not Troy Baker. Matt Mercer.
Anyways,
Okay.
back.
Sure,
Let's
basically the same person.
get this shit back on track here.
Yeah.
Totally.
People were outraged by the amount of time and or money had to be spent to unlock these characters. They
Mainly
expressed-
because in the previous game, that
Yeah.
wasn't a thing.
yeah, and it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
There was a lot of outcry, backlash towards them. They even did a Reddit AMA, which I wasn't there for this AMA, but I would imagine that was kind of a shitstorm.
The thing, I think it all started because someone made a Reddit post and they're like, "This is ridiculous," and EA's like community commented and they're like, "Guys, we just want to give you a sense of progression to blah blah blah,"
Yeah.
which became the most downvoted comment in Reddit history.
It was so bad.
The funny thing is that's not even an exaggeration. That is legit.
Oh, by like
No.
factor of 4 or 5.
yeah, if not more. Yeah,
No, it was so bad that the moderators of that subreddit had to turn off the ability to downvote.
Yeah.
Wow.
You couldn't do anything but upvote.
Wow. Okay. Anyways, but what transpired later was even more shocking.
Yeah.
They backed off.
Yeah.
They turned.
Hold on,
temporarily.
before they backed
Temporarily.
off, it got a little ridiculous because apparently people were harassing developers of the game, which
Yeah.
don't fucking do that.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I think. First of all, the internet's a dark, terrible place.
The developers have to make the game, but these business decisions are not the developer's
Yeah.
choice.
Have you ever had a job?
Yeah.
You don't the developer's not the fucking decision maker here. He gets told what to do and he does
But
it.
also, to be quite honest, you shouldn't be harassing anybody, whether
Correct.
you're harassing
That's a
the
good
decision
point.
maker or the developer.
Yes.
I think it's kind of deplorable that anybody is actually physically harassing a developer for these kinds of things.
Not physically.
Well, I mean, death threats and shit, right?
Is
That's
that
the
physical?
okay, physically
I know what you mean. I know what
splitting
you mean.
hairs,
Yeah.
splitting hairs.
This is why victims don't come forward, Nolan. I'm sorry. That was. Sorry.
And that was.
Anyway.
God damn it, Crispy. Get off this podcast.
Anyway.
Okay.
So they backed off.
They backed off temporarily, albeit.
Well, the funny thing, I think the thing I originally saw was they're like, all right, we're going to reduce the amount of credits you need to unlock
by
heroes.
75%.
But we're also going to reduce the amount of credits you get for beating story campaign
Or no, across the board.
across the board.
You get less credits
Yeah.
overall.
which
If you're gonna do anything,
So
just fucking do. Just,
So the reported reason for this happening though was supposedly there was a CEO call between the CEO of EA, John Riccitiello,
yeah.
and
Wait,
the
is
CEO
John
of Disney,
Riccitiello
Bob
still there?
Iger.
I feel like John Riccitiello left. Am I totally? I could be
I don't
wrong.
remember. I don't follow EA. They suck.
But supposedly Bob Iger called them.
CEO of Disney, I think, stepped in and had to say, hey.
And that's nuts.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to look at, first of all, Disney has entrusted what I'm assuming is now probably their biggest brand.
Andrew Wilson,
Yeah. Wait, what? Okay.
Next to Marvel, yeah.
CEO of EA.
Yeah, and even there, that might be yeah. I mean, Star Wars is one of their biggest properties, and they've entrusted EA with the sole rights of developing games for their biggest franchise, and this was going to be one of the first major releases under that flag, and I think it seems like they've stepped in and be like, we're not going to let you drive our goodwill. We're not going to let you drive goodwill for this franchise into the ground by making these kinds of decisions. So cut that shit out, or at least go back to the drawing board and figure it out. So as of right now, they're still down. Like they've taken all the loot boxes and shit down. Right, all the microtransactions are deactivated.
Well, you can't buy loot boxes with real world currency,
yeah.
but you
Premium
can
currency.
earn currency in game in order to.
Well, yeah,
get
there's
one.
no reason to turn that shit off.
And
because
that's it's to the point to where you have to play about 15 to 20 matches.
Yeah.
In order to get one of the regular trooper crates,
Gotcha.
Ew.
which is the equivalent of about 4,000 credits.
Oh my god.
Those matches aren't short either.
Well, they're not as bad as like a Battlefield match, but yeah,
also
they're not
their
short.
stock dropped about like $15.
Also, there's a limit to how many points you can get from arcade mode. Like after you get a certain amount, it puts you on a 3-hour cooldown.
Yeah.
What? Really?
I guess that was over the past like month.
That's
You
some
can't get
bullshit.
Because in theory, it would be really easy to kind of grind currency with that if you play one of the higher tier difficulties.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so what?
Still bullshit, yeah.
It's just a crazy. It's absolutely like it's funny how Battlefront 2 was supposed to be like, it seemed to me like Battlefront 2 seemed like a surefire like, Battlefront 1 like the reception of that was kind of
That
tempered.
scene in Star Wars, like, you were supposed to be the savior.
You were supposed
be
to
the
bring
chosen.
balance to the force.
You were the chosen one.
But like this has been this
We
has been
were so
more of a
hopeful for this
clusterfuck than the
game.
first game,
Yeah.
in a lot of different ways, and
All right. Anyway.
yeah,
that's
I mean,
enough about-
I'll be interested to see where we stand next week.
Well,
with
the
this,
thing is,
because-
it's not limited to Battlefront. Was what happened.
yeah.
No, the thing is, it's expanded to other EA games. The backlash going on.
well, yeah, it's because people realize
No. EA has shut off the same premium loot crate system that's in Need for Speed Payback,
well, it's probably
and they're reworking their entire progression system
Good.
in that game right now because of Battlefront 2.
well, that's probably a good thing.
That's great.
I just hope that this is not necessarily stemming from people making threatening or like threats towards.
I don't-
like
yeah,
I'm hoping this
yeah.
is more of just a kind of a realization that like our audience, our
No, this was a business decision. This wasn't based on like death.
You know the
threats or anything
stupid
like
fucking
that.
this? I think this was today actually, but they said EA came out and said they've dropped. They dropped the. They're expecting to drop the amount of the cost of microtransactions and everything by about 75%. I think is the number they said, but they said we don't expect to have this. We don't expect this to impact our bottom line. Like as far as profits go for the game at all,
Yeah.
which makes you go, "What the fuck?"
Oh.
So that kind of
Like,
throws out
so
the
what is-
bullshit you've been feeding us about this is the only way to fund AAA game development nowadays.
Is horseshit.
Yeah.
Is what it seems like. I'm wondering if that's just like someone speaking out of their ass and then just like oh shit. I
They're
No,
lying
that's
to
probably
somebody.
pretty fucking
they're
accurate.
lying to somebody. Either
Yeah.
they're lying to us or they're lying to their investors.
and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be us
Yeah.
that they're lying to. I'll be really interested to see where we stand on this next week. But I think we've said all there is to say about it right now. Let's move on. I think there's a couple more. Oh, I forgot more Nier. So, the producer of Nier in an interview all but confirmed, well, he did pretty much confirm there's a new Nier project in development.
Yep.
That's the first part of this news. I think it is absolutely incredible and astonishing that in 2017, Nier has become a franchise.
Yeah.
Not only that, a popular and potentially profitable franchise. That is the
good.
strangest turnaround I have ever seen in a game
It's a
series.
franchise that will
ever.
eat crispy into the grave.
people are ready for weird bullshit.
Yeah.
Which I don't mean
We'll
that.
just say weird shit.
Well, Yeah, I mean, it's kind of bullshit, but Nier's great. I love Nier Automata when I don't think about it too much.
I figured like 6 or 7 months after Crispy played it, he'd be able to just say one way or another whether he liked the game. But he's still struggling
I do.
with this.
I do really like the game, and you will see the game on my top 10 list.
Oh,
Absolutely.
spoilers!
I'm sorry, it's a spoiler, but you will see it on my top 10 list. I don't know my exact feelings about Nier Automata, but the idea of more Nier games, more Yoko Taro games, is absolutely exciting.
And that was the second part of this news topic. Yoko Taro is likely to return.
That's
I
awesome.
would hope so.
That seems. This is one of those scenarios where I'd be kind of worried, and two, just really interested to see what Nier would look like without Yoko Taro's involvement. I don't necessarily say I want that. I would much rather him be involved. But if he's not, and they continue making Nier games, what the fuck? What does that become? Is there anybody else weird enough to like, carry that flag forward?
I'm more interested to wonder what the next Nier game would be like if it's not developed by Platinum.
True. I mean, yeah, we don't know anything about who's developing this game. I mean, it seems likely that they would approach Platinum again. Like, Nier became popular, like on a massive scale because of what Platinum Games did with it. Mm-hmm. If they had gotten, who's the developer that did Nier 1? Does anybody even know? Have that filed away in their head? It was not a household name.
Yeah.
But if they had gotten them to do it, I don't think, even if that turned out to be a good game, I don't know if it would have had the same impact.
And that being said, I'm not certain I want them to work on a Nier project just yet, if you consider some of the rumors that are going on with Kamiya.
With oh, yeah. You're talking about the potential for like a crossover between.
They're one of the things suggested is a crossover between Devil May Cry and Bayonetta.
Well, first of all, I think that was more of like a dream project kind of scenario, and that was less.
Yeah, but he's been talking very vocally about his dream project lately, and he's been getting some winks and nods from places.
Yeah, we'll see.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be dope. I would love to see that.
Also a Beautiful Joe game.
By the way, that was one of the things. That's one of the things that's heavily rumored right now to be at PlayStation Experience is Devil May Cry 5. I forgot. That's kind of what I was thinking of. That is a rumor going around right now.
Like a big deal.
Well,
it seems like it is a big deal. Also, I don't believe it because I feel like we've had about 4 or 5 shows now.
Kavia
Games. Thank you. I don't even know if they've done anything else since Nier. I have no idea.
I mean, it kind of depends on whether the rumors about Capcom's financial health are true. Because there's been consistent word for several months that Capcom is in trouble.
Yeah, true.
And that they're looking to actually sell themselves.
They've done 2 games since Nier, both canceled.
So they haven't done 2 games.
Correct.
Since Nier.
They spent a lot of money on
studio?
Kavia.
Kavia.
Okay.
Point is, I think it's just incredible that Nier has become what it is. I absolutely can't wait to see where they take it next because I think that it's such a fascinating franchise. I can't believe I can call it a franchise. Yeah, that's all there is. Let's move on. I mean, I hope we find out more information about this soon. I hope Yoko Taro is involved. He seems keen on being involved. We shall see. And I think there's one last news topic. This was certainly unexpected. What?
Where?
Oh no! Did you not? My Valkyria. You didn't make a.
Did it not get in there?
It's in the banner. It's in the banner. Oh no!
Oh well, it's in the banner as you can see right here.
Let's just not talk about it. Disregard this.
This is the like.
This is nothing.
This is weird. So, they announced Valkyria Chronicles 4.
Mm-hmm.
Never saw that coming.
Nope.
It's not a handheld game.
It's not. I mean, unless you count the Switch, it is a follow-up to Valkyria Chronicles 1. Takes place in the same time period as Valkyria Chronicles 1.
Mm-hmm.
On all major platforms, not just PlayStation. So PS4, Xbox One, Switch. I would imagine PC as well.
Yeah, it's PC confirmed as well.
Yeah, all major platforms. Same time period as Valkyria Chronicles 1.
Same art style.
Same art style as
same
Valkyria
direction.
Chronicles 1. Essentially, this is a direct follow-up to Valkyria Chronicles 1.
Same
Which
tactics.
means anyone who is put off by the changes in style for Valkyria Chronicles 2 and 3, I didn't have the platforms to play them at the time.
Azure Revolution.
Yeah, or Azure Revolution, which came out earlier this year and bombed. we're finally getting that game.
It's happening.
It's
The
happening.
one.
That is
So good.
And
like,
a large part of it's probably based on the success of the PC and the PS4 remaster
Yeah,
port.
they-
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think that's fucking amazing. Like
It's great.
Valkyria Chronicles is, we've been doing this for about 10 years now, and Valkyria Chronicles is like one of the only games that I think is like it was such a weird it came out like,
End of the year.
fairly like middle of the year, I think. I don't know. But like at the time
remember.
I think it was David who had played it and was like, "Oh my god, this game's amazing!" And like none of us had played it at that point, and he gifted it all to us, and we all played it, and then we all were like, "That's my game of the year as well." Like the only time we had all seen unanimously like this is our game of the year. Like Valkyria Chronicles 1 was fucking incredible.
Did y'all beat it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I beat the shit out of that game. In fact, I kind of want to play it again. And isn't there a PS4 re-release?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
The remaster?
Yeah, I
Had
want
a really cool steelbook case, too. Yeah.
This kind of makes me want to go pick that up and play it before this one comes out.
Me too.
But it's coming out. This is already far enough in development. This is not like necessarily like a knee-jerk reaction to the success of that because it's coming out next year.
They're talking first half of the year.
Yeah. It's like
wow.
this has been in production for a while now. One thing I'm a little not really. I don't want to say concerned, but like it seems like environments in the game are going to be heavily like snow based, right? Which
Well, they have some of this stuff. Like these screenshots show them like in cold weather gear or snow, but
Yeah.
some of the screenshots they released too also look really normal. Like
like the classic.
summery.
Yeah, and
kinda.
I just hope it's not. I hope there's both. It's weird because like part of me like when I saw the key art for it, which is what's in the banner right now and stuff, and then I saw like a lot of the footage they were showing in that announcement video. I was like, God, this makes me so happy. This looks so beautiful. But it also kind of gave me that vibe of like Dead Space 3 or like Lost Planet, where it's like you're just like I think I see like snow worlds.
Yeah, you just have a
And I
bad
just-
experience with snow
And
games.
I was like, I don't want a game that's like all fucking snow battles. Like part of what I loved about the first game is it was so beautiful. It was so like whimsical, and I don't know. I just don't want them to like. It was so beautiful. Like not saying that snow can't be beautiful. Like the environments can't be beautiful if it's all snow based, but like I'm hoping for variety in there.
I am too, but I mean, you got to remember these. Like the story of Valkyria Chronicles is essentially about like a World War analog.
Yeah.
And this is
The
the second European war
Yeah.
that they're doing, which I would assume would be like an analog to World War II. So it's probably going to be across an entire continent. You're probably going to go through all sorts of different
Probably so.
different environments and stuff.
And like when they're in this announcement video, they were talking a lot about it returning to its roots. I could be wrong on this. I want to say they confirmed like the composer from the original game is returning to do the music
good.
for this.
the music in the trailer seemed
And maybe even
reflective.
the scenario artist or scenario writer from the first game is back for this, so we can expect kind of
what
tonally,
was
story
the
wise.
studio?
What's the name of the studio?
Yeah.
Oh, you would ask me that. Someone in chat, I'm sure, probably remembers the name of the studio.
Because as far as I can see, it's Sega publishing it, but they're not saying who the
it
studio
might be. I mean,
is
is it an internal studio that works under Sega? I mean, they've all been
Maybe?
Sega games.
I think it's called like Project Valkyria or something.
That does sound right.
Valkyria Project.
Or Valkyria Project.
Yeah, they do say that in the thing, but I didn't know that was an actual team.
So
Just like
this is
an
my
in-house
okay. You
team.
know, what, I'm gonna say this for my 4-player minute. Anyways, we need to move on.
Yes.
Valkyria Chronicles 4 sounds dope as hell. So I'm sure we'll be talking about that next year quite a bit. But now let's shift gears. Community,
To the community.
Patreon.
So we have some questions this week. Some pretty good ones. Some pretty good ones.
Not so good.
First question comes from Mr. Green Toast. For Thanksgiving, do you prefer eating turkey or ham?
Ham.
You were very quick to.
Why not both?
Barbecue.
I'm gonna be honest.
Turkey's lame.
I haven't had a normal Thanksgiving
Turkey
dinner.
is not lame.
Turkey is lame.
You're lame.
Turkey is the artist's canvas of meats. You have to dress it up with stuff in order to make it palatable. It's not
Yes.
worth it otherwise.
So you could say the same thing about chicken.
Yeah, more so.
Yeah.
You could say the same thing about beef. You could say the same thing about every meat ever. Hams don't just come off a fucking pig tasting like they do.
Yeah.
You know, they like cure them and smoke them and shit like that. It's the
Yeah.
same Shit, Chris Davis, you
But if you
don't
cook-
know what you're talking
If
about.
you cook a ham and a turkey the same way, the exact same way of cooking,
Who would do that?
You can't do
Why
that.
would you do that?
They're two different types of meat.
All right, first of all, I haven't had a normal Thanksgiving dinner in about 5 years because my mom
That's
doesn't.
really sad.
Nick likes to do
We should come to-
lobster.
My mom does not like to do
Turkey.
turkey anymore.
What does she do?
We've been doing
Cornish
lobster
game
for
night?
like 5 years.
What?
dude,
Yeah,
that
no,
sounds
it's
great.
The
Every
turkey of the
Thanksgiving.
sea.
Yeah.
My mom just like, I'm tired of making turkeys.
You know, if you want to skip out on that bullshit, I'm going to an actual Thanksgiving dinner. Like,
Hey, I'm sorry. I love
Nick,
lobster.
how long have you known us and not invited us to your
I've
lobster
told you about that.
giving?
I would decline.
Chris doesn't like
monster.
seafood.
You don't like seafood, so like there was one time where I was gonna have us record at dinner time at like Catfish Parlor, and I didn't know you didn't like seafood, and I felt so bad
Dude,
when we were there.
I went to Catfish Parlor, found something to eat. Catfish
You found
Parlor.
something, yeah, but you were stressed to
This has
find.
nothing to do
wasn't.
with turkey
I
or
just
ham.
Didn't know. Okay, both.
I'm
Right.
gonna go with
Turkey's
ham.
a must. Ham is like you really should have it.
Ham's
but
expensive is the
ham
thing.
is-
Turkey's cheap as
Ham's
shit.
expensive if you buy it prepared. If
Yeah,
you
that's
buy
true.
ham and prepare it yourself, pound for pound, it's the cheapest way to
Just
go.
go to
Yeah.
the deli counter at HEB, tell them to cut you some slices thick. You're done.
There you go.
Dick.
Done.
I'm gonna go with ham.
Get some brown sugar on there.
Generally,
Some honey?
I do Thanksgiving, I do turkey, and then Christmas I do ham.
Let me tell you something though. I will fucking cut a man to get to a spiral cut honey baked ham. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's pretty
Honey
good.
baked ham is pretty fucking good.
It's pretty rich.
Moving on, next question from Bernsey. Off the top of his head, how many games does Nick think he owns that are still completely sealed and unplayed?
Ooh, he's calling me out.
Yeah.
That's what he's
I
doing?
think Nick owns 10 games that he's never
That's all?
opened.
Yeah, are you kidding me?
Well, I mean, his
Oh.
shelf's only like that big.
That's just what you
It's
can
like
see.
the
That's
top
all.
three.
That's
Okay.
just what I have on display.
Yeah.
I have a
More
whole-
than
you've been
30,
hoarding?
less
I don't
than.
know.
I have
30.
a lot of them in storage, dude. I don't have them all on display.
I think 10 games is a lot to own to have never opened.
Dude,
But by that same train of thought, Steam
dude,
games.
Dude, there were times.
That's
Dude, there were times when I worked.
Thousands.
Dude,
He doesn't turn the
When I
computer
worked
on.
at GameStop, they had their like employee appreciation day, which, by the way, is
Oh yeah, 15%
fucking
off.
garbage. 15% off. Fuck you. But like it would stack on top of like the used discount that you get with the card, right? So you get 25% off. So there were times when
If
I
you
would
buy
I would
used.
buy like 10 used games, and a lot of those I probably haven't played.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would probably say I have like
God, it's the biggest racket.
I probably have
My
like
fucking God.
I don't know. Are we talking about not sealed? Because I did buy a lot of games used. They weren't sealed.
never touched.
Never touched. Probably like 20 or 30.
Sounds about right for Nick. I probably have like maybe 3 or 4.
Hey, I'm not ashamed of it. Hey, you should ask David how many games
Oh,
that he
God.
got.
Jesus.
Yeah, he has he could probably dedicate like a room in his house to all the games that he owns and didn't open, and a lot of those were sealed, if I recall. Sorry, David, if you're listening. I'm not calling you out. I'm just trying to
Nick's
be real.
calling you out.
Just
right,
trying to be real.
right before your birthday.
Fight! Fight! Fight!
Next question from Zero Skies. With Shadow of the Colossus getting an HD remake and Crash Bandicoot already getting one this year, what game series would you like to see rebuilt from the ground up? I would personally want to see Mega Man Legends series and those HD cel-shaded graphics and revamped gameplay. Mega Man Legends would be pretty good.
Dang straight.
All right, I'm going. This is kind of a. I would like to see a proper Silent Hill HD remake. Like I'm talking like
So a remaster, not an HD
least,
remake.
At the very least, give like Silent Hill 2, like the Shadow of the Colossus treatment they're doing with that, or do a collective HD remaster of all 4 Team Silent games and do it right this time. If I didn't say that, I might go with Jack and the original Jack and Daxter. That would be kind of cool. I don't know.
I want to see an HD remake, or sorry, I want to see a remaster, HD remake, whatever, of Dirge of Cerberus.
God damn it! Why would you say that? Wait, you're not being serious, right?
Lost in Blue. I'd like to see an HD remake of
That's a
that.
game I haven't heard in a long ass time.
Yeah.
Are you just trying to think of weird, obscure games that would never get remakes?
Why not Lost in Blue? That was a fucking great game.
Okay, I'm just checking.
I would definitely go for. I've got a bunch of examples. The classic EA Strike series. They made 5 of those games, and they were all really good, and I think they deserve modern
Are you talking about
remakes.
like Desert Strike and those kind of
Jungle Strike, Urban Strike,
my
Soviet
God.
Strike, Nuclear
Desert
Strike.
Strike was the only one that mattered.
No, Jungle Strike was where it just went ape shit. That's when it went amazing. Advance Wars, definitely. I think, especially with the
I mean, at
the
that
Switch.
point, that would almost just be I guess,
At that point, it sounds like you just need a sequel, right? A modern day sequel. I don't know.
Yeah.
You could still see them being remade and put on the Switch. I guess.
Parasite Eve. That'd be
Chris,
really
you
good.
got anything?
These all sound like games I like to see
That
sequels
needs to
to.
be redone though. That's pretty.
I don't know. I mean, if we're talking about just like a technical remake, that's tough. If we're talking about like revamping a series, like going back to the concept and completely rebuilding it,
No.
like, conceptually from the top up or from the bottom up, I would like to see that done with like, I don't know, Pokemon or something.
Cool. No, yeah. That'd
Yeah, I'm
be
gonna
good.
go and stick with Silent Hill 2 specifically.
All right, moving on. Next question from Brucey from 420. Growing up, one of my favorite video game related memories was playing Herc's Adventures with my mom on the PS1. My question for you guys is, do you have any nostalgic memories that you feel sparked your passion for the gaming industry? P.S. Nick, I've never played Assassin's Creed game, but picked up Origins after listening. Do you talk about it? I don't know whether you love it or I don't know whether to love you or hate you with all the time I'm going to lose to that game.
Oh, well, I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah. I think we've definitely talked about
Yeah,
gaming
we've talked about
memories
this
like
before.
this before.
I think one that I like to bring up, the Christmas that I got Final Fantasy 9. Actually, it's kind of a tie between the Christmas I got Final Fantasy 9 and the Christmas I got Final Fantasy 10. I remember getting both of those games very vividly, and I remember locking myself in my room on Christmas and playing those games all day long.
I vividly remember the Christmas my next door neighbor got Final Fantasy X. And I got to watch him play it because I didn't have a PS2. I vividly remember that Christmas.
Yeah, I don't know specific game, but I will say when I got an N64 for Christmas, that was the first time I was really like interested in video games as a hobby.
Yeah.
And I fucking plowed through the N64 catalog.
Man.
That's a big catalog.
It's funny.
Well, I mean, I didn't finish them all,
The hits.
but I played a lot.
Also, I may have mentioned this before. This is also Christmas related. I know this is not a Christmas question, but whatever.
Holy shit, guys. Do y'all remember, like, not getting games until Christmas?
Yeah. Apparently that happened a lot to me.
Dude, I mean, Christmas is a video game binging holiday.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the feel like there's no better feeling than like opening a game on Christmas morning
yeah.
and then immediately going into your room and spending the rest of the day like well, like there's so like you got like we're
We
talking
don't
about
get
right
that
now.
anymore.
Yeah.
What like we're talking about right
do.
now.
I get that.
So many of like our most visceral like video game memories
Don't say
are
visceral.
like are from those games we got on Christmas mornings. Like Journey to Jaburo, a Mobile Suit Gundam game. It's not a good game, but I fucking love it because I got it with my PlayStation the Christmas that I got PS2, and I spent like a week locked in my room playing that game. And then I finally gave up. But just the the Christmas atmosphere, like the
Yeah,
late
no,
Christmas
I
Day
agree with
feeling
you.
of like, oh, I'm just gonna fucking beat the fuck out of this game, you know?
But for now, it's
It's
like,
so-
now that I'm, we're adults, we don't have Christmas holiday really. We don't get like that break off and stuff. It's like, oh yeah, and remember that Tuesday where I got Hollow Knight? I played that on that Tuesday
Yeah.
in like
Yeah.
July.
I'm
just
looking forward
like-
to this 4-day weekend I
I don't
have to
remember.
like binge some stuff.
But yeah, no, when you're young, you really, because that
I
was...
think I'm looking forward to that more than Thanksgiving as a
You
holiday.
poor schmucks.
It was like, man, what kind of fucking weird video game did the guy working at GameStop trick my parents into buying this year?
exactly.
You know,
No, like,
like-
I remember it's sitting up there the day my mom came home. She's like, I just wanted to get you a game, so I got you this one. The guy at the game store told me it was good, and it was
Dude.
Darkstalkers.
Dude, I never played a Resident Evil game in my life, and then one year my parents got me Resident Evil 0
Yeah.
for the GameCube,
GameCube, yeah.
and I was like, I don't even like horror games, but I was excited to play that game,
Yeah.
because it was a Christmas gift.
Dude, that's so funny. I had to bend over backwards to convince my parents to let me buy a PlayStation 1 so I could play Resident Evil 2 because I was like dying to play it. I was like seeking out all the magazines, reading them, trying to just like absorb as much of it as I could without actually playing it. Finally got them to let me get it. I get it home. I hook it up. My dad's like, "Oh, this is really interesting. Let me watch this."
Oh,
I
no.
pop in, Resident
No.
Evil 2. Like, the first thing I do is blow a zombie in half with a shotgun. And it's like crawling towards you, like its torso. And my dad, I could see the look on my dad's face, like, I shouldn't have done this.
Oops.
Man, I probably should not have been playing that.
I
game.
remember when
Did it remind him of his time back in Korea?
Right, Vietnam, you mean?
Sorry, Nam.
Back in the Nam.
Yeah.
I remember when
Been a long time.
Yeah, I was about to say, wait, yeah, that makes more sense. That wouldn't be Korea.
my grandmother got me a launch PS2 for Christmas, and I got Final Fantasy 9 as well that Christmas. And I was so excited to play that, but I also wanted to play something on the PS2, and they had no idea what to get me.
They got you the bouncer.
No, they
played that
got
game.
me Fantavision.
Oh! Oh.
Which, hey, DVD quality game, it was very pretty for the time.
No, okay.
guess.
Real quick, what I was gonna mention before, and I'll make this quick, but like
Hurry up.
Christmas morning, I got my N64. I knew I was getting GoldenEye that Christmas, but we were going to my grandparents' house. My grandfather was really grumpy. He didn't want me playing any games on his upstairs TV, so he made me hook it up downstairs in their basement in Ohio, which was creepy as fuck, creepiest basement ever. And
Probably
I remember
cold as fuck,
nobody
too.
wanted to go down in the basement, so I had to go down there by myself, and I was terrified. And I sat there in the dark, and I played GoldenEye from start to finish in that basement.
God damn, I wish I
Terrified the
would have been
entire
there.
time.
You had to earn it.
Oh
I
my
would have
god!
scared the fuck out of Nick.
Oh my god! It was so
All
terrifying.
right, moving on. Next question from Nexus. What gaming-themed live concert do you dream of attending, real or imagined?
Kiri Yamaoka, are you kidding me? I would go to a Silent Hill concert any day of the week. That would be amazing.
Nobuo Uematsu, Any-
That's like not 1,000 different fucking songs.
Those
Yeah,
are
I
those
guess.
are like I think this is a tricky question because it's not just what's a good game soundtrack. Those games
What
are
would
great
make a
game
good
soundtrack, but what would be a
orchestrated
good
soundtrack?
concert?
Yeah, so that was the one thing I,
think
fucking wish.
I think like a Nintendo one would be a good
So hold on.
concert.
And I fucking wish I could. They did it only for a limited run, but it was called Smashing Live, and they did orchestrated versions of all of the like kind of themes and stuff from the different characters in Smash Brothers. So they had like a little bit of every, and I have that CD probably still somewhere.
I got your answer.
But I fucking loved that one.
Mega Man.
Mega Man would be a good one.
Mega Man would be really good.
Oh man, the presentation could be so cool too because they could even do like the big like boss select screen and then
They
it, like,
absolutely
and then
could.
they just like light up one and everyone's like, oh my god, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
That would be the highlight
so
of the
good,
show.
yeah.
I am sticking with the
So
Kiri
good.
Yamaoka because for anyone who's listened to Silent Hill soundtracks, they range from like super atmospheric and dark, and some of them don't even sound like music, all the way up to like sweeping like upbeat. Like it's weird. Like they span like a whole range of tones and not to mention this crazy shit they could do with like lighting in the background and like on stage like weird creepy shit with like lights would be awesome.
I think The Last of Us would be. A good
Oh
one.
yeah, that would be
great. That would be a great concert. The music's fantastic. I really would have loved to have gone to that Last of Us live.
Oh, yeah.
thing
Have
that
you seen
they
it,
did.
though?
I watched it on
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah.
It's good.
It looked really cool. I think that would be a uniquely interesting experience.
All right, moving on. Next question from Wingless. Since you probably didn't once talk about EA and their business practices, let's discuss. Just kidding. If you had to implement microtransactions into your daily life, where would you insert them? Eating dinner with family members that ask too many questions? Talking with chat when they spam comments over a wonderful cinematic moment? Politics with your uncle who starts questionable sentences such as, I'm not a racist but? Alternatively, what DLC would you want to deliver to people you interact with in real life?
Well, like we're charging for DLC.
I know some DLC I'd like to deliver.
Like we're charging DLC to get
Yeah.
out of these conversations.
I don't know how to
however you
interpret
want to
it.
take
like
it.
DLC in our daily lives would be bad. Like if we had to, I mean, isn't everything DLC?
That'd be like
Like,
that'd
if
be
you
like
go to
if like Bernadette
McDonald's
like
and
came
buy-
home from work
buy food.
and was like, "Oh, I've had a hard day. Can I have a hug?" And I'd be like, "For $1."
I saw. There's an online comic. You've probably seen it. It's on Imager all the fucking time. But it's like it's like a girl's idea for like a slutty game dev Halloween costume.
Okay.
And it's like she's dressed like a game dev, but then she rips off all her clothes and she's wearing like an S&M suit, and all the parts of the suit are zipped off, or like have zippers on them, and they all have price numbers on them. So like her panties are like $30, and it's a zip. She's got one over each boobs, and
Wait,
like all the
this
different.
is an actual thing?
No, it was a comic that somebody
Oh.
drew.
Jesus.
I don't remember.
I don't think I've ever
what
seen
it
this, but-
was.
Man, that's an approach to
Yeah.
that. Okay. Yeah, man, I don't know. This is like, could you just like pay money to like skip work some days? Just be like
That's a good one.
just be like, I don't really want to work today. I'll gladly drop $2 or $5, whatever it is, to skip.
Or like
to-
pay
but, like-
$10 to skip a test with a B or
But
something.
like, yeah, but like skip the day, but like without sacrificing any productivity or like any work you would have actually had done. You just actually
Yeah.
don't have to like consciously be there for it.
Mm-hmm.
You just pay it, and it's like it's fast. Like you jump forward in time, but like you actually did the work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Would
That'd be
like
dope.
would an expansion pack like get me out of awkward Thanksgiving and Christmas conversations, or
Dude, fuck that. Could you pay money to just get like level ups? Like level yourself up, like get smarter, get stronger, get faster, get better with swords for some reason.
Sure, why not?
straight to swords?
Maybe. You know what? I would probably drop $10 for like a cool outfit.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
That's what I did. I bought a jacket, DLC,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's just
yeah. What are
kind of
we-
like buying a
guys,
jacket.
what are we talking about?
Like-
There are microtransactions.
It's just buying things.
Wait, well, those not really micro. I guess they're actually
Yeah.
they're just transactions.
Yeah.
So does that mean
Weird.
like
I would-
one
you
of
know,
those
my-
grab bags at like a convention is like a loot crate?
Maybe. I would pay a microtransaction. I'd drop like $30 like a microscope.
God damn it.
No.
Bad.
Next question.
Final question this evening from SMG Sterling. What is the single best Thanksgiving food item / dish for me? It's all about a good squash casserole. Says SMG.
Squash casserole can be pretty
Squash
good.
casserole
Side
is pretty
dish?
good. He just says single best Thanksgiving food item / dish.
Oh.
I could be a very simple person, and it usually comes up as being yeah. Thanks for nodding. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, because they couldn't hear that on the
Sick
podcast.
burn.
Yams. I just like a
Just a
yam.
straight
Wait,
up yam?
with-
You just
with-
eat it like a fucking apple?
With
What do you mean?
marshmallow on top?
like a little bit of marshmallow, a little bit of brown
So, like,
sugar.
okay.
And, cooked in.
I like.
You partake in that travesty.
I like.
Watch your tongue.
I like a broccoli like a broccoli and rice
broccoli, rice, and
chicken
cheese?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
That is so good.
So good. I will also, on the flip side of this question, I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for this. I do not like stuffing.
I don't like
Yeah,
stuffing
there's
either.
nothing wrong with not
Oh,
liking
really?
stuffing.
I was under the impression that I was going to be
No.
like crucified.
No,
for that.
that's fucking terrible. But have you ever had cornbread stuffing?
I've had several different kinds of stuffing. I don't know if cornbread was one of them.
I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
the problem with stuffing is that
never
there's so
found-
many approaches.
I have never found a stuffing that I was like, oh,
What
I wanna
about?
keep
Hang
eating
on,
this.
hang on.
I'll give
what
you a
about,
stuffing.
What about all those years that
Dude.
we did Friendsgiving and I made stuffing?
I didn't eat it. Well, I tried it, but I probably didn't eat much of it.
Oh, but you didn't like it.
Yeah,
it was
no.
bad.
Yeah.
is what you're saying.
Invited to a
Fuck you,
Friendsgiving.
Nick.
But
man.
hey,
fuck you.
but hey.
Friendship.
If it makes you feel any better, my mom's stuffing is also not great because
Well, I
I
know
don't like
that
that.
doesn't make
My mother
me,
hasn't even been able to make me stuffing that I like. So
that doesn't make me feel bad.
How many siblings do
I
you
don't
have,
like
Nick?
chocolate, guys. What is this? Like, how do you like? What do you?
Wait, is there chocolate in your
No,
mom's stuff?
no. I'm just like
Why?
this shouldn't shock you. Like
Squash.
there is no one. I have never been able to find chocolate that I like. It's just stuffing is another one of those things. I just don't like stuffing.
Chai Tai. Nick doesn't like stuffing. He's more a fan of docking.
Yeah.
With a
I'm gonna be
moisture
hearing about
barrier.
this. I'm
I'm-
never
I'm-
gonna get away from that. Apparently,
I'm also, honestly, like, green bean casserole.
Yeah.
That's a fucking classic.
good casserole.
It's a classic, but just the composition can vary widely.
Well, if it's made well, that's what I'm talking about. Like,
Yeah.
well made. Like, I'm not talking about something you fucking get from like a restaurant that's like mediocre at best. I'm talking about like when like you make it at home and you make it good.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna say lobster.
Okay.
So
Okay.
stupid.
Fuck off.
All right. Well, that's all the questions from this week. Thanks everybody for asking your questions. We appreciate it, patrons. Every week we post a thread on patreon.com/4player where you can ask any question you like.
Also, reminder: if you're a supporter of us on Patreon at the $1 tier or higher, you get early access to the podcast. We post it the day after the recording for patrons. 24 hours later, it's available to everybody else. Just thought I'd drop that there. All you gotta do is support us on Patreon at $1 or higher.
We didn't even mention like Thanksgiving pies or anything like that.
I mean, pies you can kind of have whenever.
I know at some point during my tenure on this podcast, I at some point said I don't like pies. But that was before I discovered my love for pecan pie.
Before he discovered fucking pies.
I told you not to mention that, Nolan. That was supposed to be.
Wait,
on
was
the
this
DL.
Robin's pecan pie that you like so much?
No, I think I just had a pie. I think I had a pie at Friendsgiving. Someone brought a pie or something, and
I bought $50 worth of pie one time.
That was that one time that
highlight.
Chris Davis did buy all that pie.
Was any one of those pies pecan pie?
Yeah, I think so.
I bought like 5 different pies.
Well, that one time we did that event at Brad's, and Chris Davis brought all the fucking pies in the world.
That was when I said I'm not a big fan of pie. I think my mic might have.
Good.
And that became a top 10 highlight that year.
You lost your talking privileges. Pecan pie. Is it pecan or pecan?
Pecan.
Pecan pie.
Pecan pie. We all say.
I do like pecan pie. I am partial
pretty
to
good.
pumpkin pie. I actually am making some. Or
I'm
Brendan
gonna eat
and
a
I-
whole
Robin
mess
made a
of pecan
pecan
pie.
pumpkin pie, and it was delicious.
That's
a vegetable, dude. That shit's like carrot cake.
horrified.
Carrot cake's fucking delicious.
What's wrong with carrot cake?
I don't even like carrots, and I like carrot cake.
Pumpkin pie is the
I like
best.
carrots. I don't like
I love carrots.
All right,
Apple pie is the best. Pumpkin pie is the best.
is my mic working now?
Is it time for the 4-player minute?
It's time for the 4-player minute. Let's wrap this shit up. Hype, sweat, thank you, and fuck you. Who's going first? Don't all volunteer at once.
Crispy, you always get mad when like you get.
You're in the
skipped.
Brad spot.
When I get skipped? Oh no, I don't. Do I?
Yeah,
Do I
you
get
do.
mad? Do I get mad when I get skipped?
You have.
Sometimes.
I usually get skipped because I'm not ready. Okay. My hype this week is for the Monster Hunter World Beta coming out in just a couple weeks for PS4 and I guess Xbox. I don't know.
Yeah.
Fucking dope. Can't wait. It's gonna be so good. I hope. We'll see. I'm really super stupid hyped about that game. My sweat this week goes for the fact that like I just remembered that I haven't even like finished Prey this year. I haven't finished a lot of shit. Like, and I definitely have no time. So I guess I'll just die.
Sounds like a plan.
My fuck you for this week goes to the FCC and what's that guy's name? Ajit Pai.
Ajit Pai.
Damn it, that's
Pai?
my fuck you.
Man, fuck
That's
that
everybody's
guy.
fuck you. this
Everybody's
week.
No,
Fuck that
look,
guy.
it's written down there.
I
have his
know,
fucking
Ajit
name
Pai.
written as my fuck
It's
you.
the perfect one for this week. Man,
Yeah.
fuck that guy. Really? Jesus Christ. Some fucking Verizon
I just really want to take
lawyer.
his giant fucking Reese's mug and smash him over the head
Oh
with
my
it.
How does that guy
God.
not like? He is like
He's the
he has
worst.
somehow become public enemy number one.
Wow.
Right?
I mean,
Internet
there's a few
putting it-
rapists maybe ahead of him.
Oh, okay.
but,
Yeah.
but he's pretty fucking bad. And my thank you for this week goes to Chris Davis for letting me borrow his Switch for like 3 weeks. I greatly enjoyed using it and playing Super Mario Odyssey, and now I really want to Switch.
Well, guess what? Have you seen the Nintendo Switch deals Black Friday?
No.
Because there are none.
Damn! Damn it! Damn it, Nolan!
That was really
Damn
cool.
it, Nolan!
They're like,
was
hey,
really
we're
cool.
selling the Switch for regular cost. Get it, maybe.
We may
if
have
we're-
some in
if
stock.
we're not sold out. Yeah, that's pretty much how it's going this year. All right, my 4-player minute starts now. My hype. Nier Automata. I'm glad I finally got to start playing that game. I've been enjoying it. I'm excited to keep playing it more.
Get that skirt off.
To get all the 27 endings or whatever. I'm excited for it. My sweat. That kind of me starting Nier has kind of opened up the floodgates because I was sitting there and I was like, oh shit, there are so many other games that came out this year that I like at the beginning of the year I was, don't worry, I'll get to it. I'm going to play that game before the end of the year. And here it is, November 21st? 20th? 21st. And there's like at least 5 or 6 games that I was like, oh, I'll definitely finish that. Haven't even started them.
Ain't gonna happen.
So I'm really trying to like buckle down and like, don't dilly dally in games too much. Like Assassin's Creed Origins. Not picking that up because I know.
Guys, I'm like at 40 3 or 44 hours in that game.
That's
and
why I
still
won't
about
start that.
halfway. I have
Nope.
like half the map I haven't uncovered.
Can't
You,
do
you
it.
keep saying that you're gonna just go and just complete it as fast as you can, and you end up casting.
It's
Fatal Frame
impossible.
5.
It's impossible. You can't not get distracted in that game.
My fuck you, as I mentioned earlier, goes to Ajit Pai. Fuck that guy. He's an asshole. Everything. Anybody who is backing. I don't remember
Dismantling
the
net
bill. But yeah,
neutrality?
taking down net neutrality is a fucking asshole. That's ridiculous.
I mean, it's just so that like 10 people can be even richer than they
Well,
are.
no, yeah, that is the
Yeah.
point. It's the only point of taking away net neutrality is to make people who already have a lot of money have more money.
Yeah.
That's literally all it is.
Oh man.
There's no positive to
I think
it.
Comcast came out already and made a statement saying, "Hey, we know what this means, but like, we're not going to change our like
Bullshit.
which could be bullshit, but they've said it out loud now. So like, they're only asking for trouble if they turn around and like back down on that.
Comcast
right, because
is
they're not like a fucking
Comcast also still
monopoly.
has transfer limits on their broadband services.
Yeah, they do. And then my thank you this week is actually going to go to Bernadette. Lately, she's been letting me spend a little bit of money here and there on things I kind of like. Like, for those that don't know, I got a giant fucking projector and screen in my loft now, and I've been kind of doing little things like that. Like I bought timer remotes for the front porch lights and stuff like that. Just like things I really shouldn't need.
little purchases,
Yeah.
like big HD projectors.
I mean, honestly, that costs less than like that TV.
Sure, but come on.
Yeah.
Cool. Who's next?
Okay. My 4-player minute. My hype this week is actually for Super Mario Odyssey, because I actually get to play it starting as soon as tomorrow, because Chris finally got me back my Switch. And
Don't fucking give me that. This guy, for every week, I've been like, Chris, you want your Switch back? And he's like, keep it another weekend.
That is
I'm
true.
sick. I can't play games. Keep it another weekend. You don't get to do that and
He
then
act-
turn around and
I'm
act
not-
like I've been
I'm not-
holding it
I'm
hostage.
He
not
actually couldn't
discouraging
hear
you
you
at all.
because he was sick.
Because his ears didn't work because he was sick, right?
No, when I'm sick, it's Netflix and Battlefield time. That's it. And that was my sweat, because I've been sick for the past 2.5 weeks. I'm finally pretty much over it. And that could have been some wonderful.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Right?
I am.
He has been coughing at me a lot tonight.
See? And we all know that the most contagious part of the disease is at the end stages, once the symptoms have started to clear.
All right,
Well, the
let's.
symptoms have been clear for like 5 days, but I've been sick for 2.5 weeks, and all that Netflix time that I used for Stranger Things and The Tick and so many other things could have been put towards so many video games, which really fucking annoys me, because there's things like Nier I have to play, and Neo.
Guys,
I actually kind of want to buy Neo now it's on PC.
Uncharted The Lost
Oh, and it's on
Legacy.
sale for
Uncharted Lost Legacy.
$20.
Guys, at this point, everyone should just pick 1 or 2 games and be like, just accept it. That's gonna be it.
Yeah.
That's all you have time for.
Well,
Pick them and go.
But the difference between y'all and me is that I work in education and I get Christmas breaks, and I've got 170 hours of vacation time I need to spend.
Well,
So
son of a
I might
bitch.
actually fill in that time.
We'll enjoy it.
I'm going to. My fuck you of the week, of course, Ajit Pai and the FCC for not understanding what consumers are and raking in money and all that bullshit.
Oh, he understands. He just doesn't care.
It's
He doesn't-
beyond
he's-
consumers. It's about like communication.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
And
Freedom
my-
of the press.
I really don't have a thank you this week.
It's
I will
Thanksgiving
think-
and you don't
I will-
have a thank you?
I know. I will thank Nolan by default for allowing me to borrow the Uncharted Lost Legacy, because I don't feel like spending $40 on that game.
Motherfucker,
it's
it's
like 30.
Thanksgiving.
30.
It's like, I have
But yeah, you can
nobody
borrow
to
it.
thank.
Okay.
I'm not going to play it. I finished
You've already
it,
beat
so,
me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too sure.
All right. My hype is for the upcoming 4-day weekend that I have, because that is like pretty much the extent of my holiday break that I get to get excited for at my age. I'm gonna be hopefully. I'm planning. I'm planning on finishing Assassin's Creed Origins this weekend, but
You plan a lot of
woo,
things.
that may not happen. But I'm sure as hell gonna try. I'm also excited to maybe play a little bit of Hollow Knight, maybe play a little bit of Wolfenstein. I'm just going to have lots of time. I'm looking forward to maybe, because I'm going to be streaming at some point, I may try and finish up Fatal Frame 5. I'm getting pretty close to the end of that. Still really enjoying it. So I, have some downtime coming up. I'm looking forward to it. My Fuck You Week, I will, of course, give it to, same as y'all, and pretty much anybody who is in support of dismantling net neutrality. I think anybody who understands what it means should be against it. That's simple as that. My sweat is Valkyria Chronicles 4. I hope it's every bit as good as the first one. My sweat being, because it's available on all these platforms. I am tempted. Like, I'm thinking, like, I kind of want to play Valkyria Chronicles on the Switch. That would be dope. I can take it anywhere I want. Like, the thought of playing that portably sounds
That'd be cool.
Great.
I mean, there's already been a portable Valkyria Chronicles.
Yeah, but like, this is
wasn't good though.
I didn't have a PSP at the time when it came out. I also didn't like some of the stylistic changes they made. So having like a portable version of like a sequel to the original Valkyria Chronicles sounds incredibly satisfying and exciting. But I just hope I hope the Switch version is not like borked.
Yeah.
And my thank you goes to. I'm gonna be lame. I'm gonna thank Robin because it was our 1-year anniversary.
Rigged.
This past weekend. Thank you for putting up with me for a whole year. That was cool.
How?
I don't know. I can't even do it.
Robin's pretty mellow.
She just doesn't spend that much time with him.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, we only get to see him once a week, and
That's a sick burn. That's a sick burn. But yeah, I think that's it.
No, Carlos.
Carlos.
No, Carlos.
Carlos.
Whatevs, dog.
All right, you heard it here
Whatevs.
first. Whatevs,
All four.
dog. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. 4playernetwork.com is the website, of course. You can find us on Twitch. We broadcast every single night at 4pp.tv. We record these podcasts every Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we'd invite everyone out there, if you have not yet, to join us on Discord at discord.gg/4player. We're all very active in there.
Yep.
Brad's still on hiatus. Just a quick update. Still taking care of his newborn son.
The human being that
Yet
he created.
he's finding all the time to play all the video games. It's making me very, very jealous.
You were so pissed.
Oh my god, he's gonna beat Neo before me, and he's got a fucking child. Mm-hmm. You know what? My fuck you week goes to Brad.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Fuck that, Brad.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Come back soon. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. We will catch you guys next week. Same time, same place for another episode. Good night.
Bye.
Goodbye.